ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show live here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everyone has had a great week. We got a lot going on this weekend, and that's right, this weekend. It just happens to be a 3-day weekend. Kevin, as you get up and leave, it's a little dark in here. If you don't mind not hitting
I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Well, let me be fair. Here you're talking. No one can see you. Oh, just like that. Now you
What up?
Now you see. So Kev's going to dip out for a few minutes and leave me stranded, and he'll be back here to save the day coming up in just a moment. And then Kev said, let there be some light. Hey, there we go. Good job. Thank you. All right, lots to get into on this Friday as we head into a 3-day weekend. So much going on again. Right now, the Reds are about to start a doubleheader coming up here later on coming up at 4:00. 2 with the Pirates tonight. We're going to take a look at where they fall within the standings. We have high school football tonight. Our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week features, of course, the Springfield Wildcats at the Centerville Elks. It's our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. So kickoff at 7 p.m. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself, we will be live again calling the game from Centerville, and we're excited about that. Again, our Week 1 matchup was really, really good. Centerville coming away with a 21-20 win over Fairmont, and we're going to hear from the Elks coach again coming up here later on in the show. We'll hear from Coach Brent Ullery, head coach for the Elks, here later on in hour number 3 as we get you set for Centerville and for Springfield. Again, many ways you can be involved in the show. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook, give the show a follow, give it a like, and then, of course, every time you comment in the chat section, we are able to interact with you that way. We bring it into the show, and we're able to answer any questions, or you can jump in on the conversations that we are having at that moment. All right, so let's get into this. By the way, I had a good start to the day. I was able to go out and golf to start the day. Right now, again, this summer, I have never been as into golf as what I've been this summer. And I'm bad. I don't care. It's still a blast. It's an absolute blast. And we're going to talk a little bit of golf coming up around the corner. I want to hear some of the top golf spots that you guys like to hit throughout the summer. We're going to get into that coming up when Kev gets back. But let's open up with a little Cincinnati Reds talk. Again, as I mentioned, the Cincinnati Reds are going to be in action coming up. Game 1 of a 2-game doubleheader. 4:05 will be the first pitch. Now, usually we carry every Reds game right here on Dayton's Home of the Reds. But we're going to finish the day out with our show and hand it off to Byers and myself coming up later on this evening for high school football. Joey Votto, I'm going to give you the Reds lineup here. We'll have it displayed on the Facebook broadcast and YouTube broadcast coming up in a moment. Joey Votto will lead things off and bat first, get the start at first. In right field, batting second is Nick Castellanos. The DH tonight will bat third, and that's Matt Davidson. Eugenio Suarez, who's been on a tear as of late, it's taken him a while to wake up, but his bat is fully awake now, and that's why he has the responsibility of hitting in the cleanup spot. He'll get the start at third and bat fourth. In left field, batting fifth is Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker hasn't had many opportunities in the outfield this year. He's been the primary DH for the season, but he will bat fifth and get the start in left field. In center field is Aristides Aquino. He has had limited plate appearances, but he has definitely been able to capitalize and maximize his time in the box. And again, he hasn't looked like he did last August, but hopefully the Reds are hoping he doesn't repeat this September what he did last September. He'll bat seventh and get the start in center field. Batting eighth and behind home plate tonight is Kurt Casale. He's the catcher, and Jose Garcia will get the start at shortstop. He will bat ninth. The Kyle Farmer will be at second base tonight as well. So one more time, your lineup for your Cincinnati Reds: Votto, Castellanos, Davidson, Suarez, Winker, Aquino, Casale, Garcia, and Kyle Farmer. Very interestingly enough, though, Kyle Farmer getting the start over Mike Moustakas. And before I start hearing what I've been hearing from all of the analytical gurus out there, I do not care. You paid that man a lot of money to come play here for your Cincinnati Reds. And the one thing that drives me nuts is the fact that the calculator has once again told David Bell that, hey, you know what? You don't need You don't need him, Moustakas, in the lineup tonight. I know Moustakas has not had that great of a year. He's had some, a couple hiccups along the way, the COVID scare and the injury. But again, I'm seeing all over Twitter today that Kyle Farmer should definitely be playing second base over Mike Moustakas, especially against left-handed pitching. And I've said this before. You could be a really, 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 really good hitter against right-handed pitching. And if you can't hit lefties, then you are not a really good overall hitter. Like that. That's what. And again, there's baseball minds out there who know more about baseball than I do. I'm not going to pretend to know everything, but sometimes sometimes the answer really is that simple. I think baseball folks overthink it. Like Kyle Farmer tonight, who's better against lefties than Mike Moustakas. So we're going to sit our all-star. We're going to sit one of our best bats because, well, the numbers show that Kyle Farmer is better against lefties. Be that as it may, if I'm Kyle Farmer, I'm going to say, well, if you're going to rely on me in these situations and I want paid more, and if I'm Mike Moustakas, I'm like, get me the hell out of here then. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You have 2 with the Pirates tonight. Now, because I am opening up with this, I promise you Kyle Farmer will probably go 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, a double. That's just how this works. But let's be clear, I still think that the Cincinnati Reds are making a mistake by sitting Mike Moustakas, even if it is game 1 of a doubleheader. Mike Moustakas will probably be back in the lineup for game 2. But you still need your heavy hitters. I will never understand why baseball continues to justify taking your best players out of your lineup because of a matchup. Now, again, and I've said this before about Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker has had a fantastic season, but how many times have we talked about, we know he can hit against righties, but because he is so bad against lefties more times than not, he's being pulled from games because he can't hit lefties. And now we're going to do that with Moustakas. You got to be kidding me. Look, and of course I'm getting this too. Those who are questioning paying $16 million a year for a platoon player, Moustakas, keep in mind 2 things. So again, on Twitter, I'm getting, he's on the side that gets 70% of the plate appearances. I don't care. We didn't pay you $16 million a year to get 70% of the plate appearances. What are you talking about, dude? It says, and then he goes on to say, and again, this is from Steve on Twitter, he says, try finding a free agent second baseman who doesn't have a platoon split. Also, the Reds aren't platooning him. I didn't say that they're platooning him, but they're platooning him today. It's a stupid decision. You are right now, when you look at the standings, you're 6 games out in the division. You're 6 games out in the division. You're 3 games out in the wild card. You need your best players out on the field at all times. You don't have time to sit there and try to be too cute with this lineup. And I like Kyle Farmer. I don't have a problem with Kyle Farmer, but Kyle Farmer is who Kyle Farmer is. He's a utility player, and you go to him when you need him. You don't need him tonight. You need Mike Moustakas in that lineup. And they get to the point to where I almost root for them to lose sometimes based off these stupid decisions, because it just goes like sometimes the losing needs to happen with this decision making because it goes to show the errors of their ways. But like I said, I put the Kenner curse on him. Kyle Farmer will go 3 for 4. He'll have a couple home runs. The Reds will win 10-2. And then all of this rant as we open up on a Friday with all this negativity will have been for nothing. That's just how it goes. But again, one more time, the Reds and the Pirates will open things up here in a doubleheader coming up. 4:05 will be the first pitch. Now, we are going to continue on with the show throughout the game. We'll keep you updated on the score for the Reds throughout. But this is a team right now that has given up 36 runs over the last 4 games. This is a team that has really, their strength was supposed to be pitching, and they have gotten rocked over the last week or so. And that's, just the inconsistencies. I'm not telling you anything that you already don't know about this Reds team. They are in a situation where they desperately need pitching, yes, but they definitely need offense. And to me, sitting Mike Moustakas, and I don't care what the matchups show. You need Mike Moustakas. You're one of your best. You're probably your second best power hitter. You need him in the lineup, and you need him tonight. The Reds need runs, and they need them fast. And it doesn't matter who they come from, but Mike Moustakas is one of the guys that's going to give you that best chance. And again, you can punch whatever you want into that calculator. It's not going to get the job done. Right now, the Cincinnati Reds, as we currently sit, as I mentioned, 6 games out of the division, 16 wins, 21 losses on the season. They were 15-20 to start. They needed to go 15-10 the final 25 games of the season just to finish at 30-30. Like, this is a team that I think is, for one, this team is majorly underachieved all season to begin with. But they had to go 15-10 the final 25 games just to finish right at 500. And we're talking about, again, and this is the frustrating part for me. and I've made this very clear on multiple occasions, that the Cincinnati Reds are too good of a team for us to be talking about hoping that they get in the playoff. Like that's the thing, especially on a year where they have the expanded they expanded the playoffs. Now, I've made all those points, but there's one point that we are all forgetting as Reds fans. This is the other thing I have a problem with David Bell, because when you got to max, it's getting into the playoff at times, you could talk about luck. It's lucky. Baseball, there's a lot of luck in baseball. Maybe, but sometimes you got to create your own luck. And sometimes when you're David Bell honestly has more wins against his own team. His decisions have beat the Reds more times than the opponent has. The Cardinals have just absolutely bludgeoned the Reds over this past week. But more times than not, it's David Bell's decision making that bludgeons his own team. And I think sitting Mike Moustakas today is one of those examples. But one example that we have not thought about yet, or one excuse for the Reds that really, or one factor I should say, that really hurts the Reds more than anything else is this. That should embarrass David Bell. That should embarrass anyone who defends David Bell. The Cincinnati Reds had the easiest schedule of all Major League Baseball teams. Every star had aligned perfectly for your Cincinnati Reds to make the playoffs. 60-game shortened season. 3 of the top pitchers in baseball, 3 of every 5. You should be winning 3 of every 5, at least 3 of every 5, considering you have Luis Castillo, Trevor Bauer, and Sonny Gray. You should be winning 3 of every 5 when you have that kind of starting pitching, and you have the lineup that you do that does feature Eugenio Suarez, Nick Castellanos, Moustakas, and of course you're taking him out of the lineup tonight. Jesse Winker is hitting well above 300. He after that very, very horrible start, I mean, he has easily been one of the top 5 hitters in baseball, no question about it. There is no excuse. So you had a shortened season. You had 3 of the top pitchers in baseball. Your rotation, you should be winning 3 of every 5. All right, and then you play in a division, that good solid division. But the Cubs aren't the Cubs of the last couple of seasons. All right, the Cardinals, this is as weak as they've been in a while. You should have capitalized on that opportunity, as the Cardinals, of course, had missed 2 straight weeks of the baseball season, and yet you made them look like they were in midseason form. Oh, yeah, you also have the easiest schedule in Major League Baseball, and yet here you are at 16-21. They finally get a big win the other night, and the fan base is sitting around saying, see, and everyone's panicking. They're 6 games out. They've won 16 games this season. There's 16. Out of that is insane to me. Out of 37 games, they've won 16 of them. And you're going to sit here and defend the Cincinnati Reds. That ain't going to work for me. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I do feel like I'm pretty realistic when it comes to this Reds team. This Reds team needs a jolt. I don't know what that jolt is anymore. And let's keep in mind, they go and get Goodwin from the Angels. You add an extra closer. And by the way, when they did win the other night, keep in mind, it was a situation where they already, because in the night before when they lost 16-2, they had to go again. They beat the Cardinals 4-3, and everyone was going crazy. And they're talking about, of course, Iglesias. But the problem is this is the thing about David Bell. All right, the thing is that when you look at the way David Bell uses that bullpen, you go out and you get the new starter or the new closer, and you bring him in a game that you lost 16-2. You gave him innings just to go and eat up. You brought him over here to be to be a force in these close ball games. You went out and got that closer from the Diamondbacks. Why? Because Iglesias had proven that you could not count on him. And then what do? You use him in a 16-2 loss, and then the very next night in the game against the Cardinals, you lose 4-3, and you go to Iglesias. Now, in Iglesias' defense, he takes care of business, but there were runners on first and second. There was no outs. That had the making of a easy Cardinals win. I mean, the Cardinals were about to tie that up, and again, it was going to be Iglesias who ruined it, and again, it was going to be Iglesias looking up at the sky, super confused, super frustrated, and I feel bad for him, but they continue to use him in situations that he doesn't like to be used in. He likes to be used in closing situations, and that was, officially not the case, or that was the case for that, but he wanted to be used earlier in the ballgame. You cannot continue to make those decisions if you're David Bell and continue to expect to get the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't work that way. That's what's frustrating as far as the Reds are concerned. And David Bell got bailed out the other night, but Iglesias was well on his way to blowing another ball game, well on his way to putting the Reds in a situation where they would have got swept by the Cardinals. So they came away with the win. And you're probably saying, why are you focusing on something if it didn't lead to a loss? Because that's the problem with the Reds fan base. You guys always do this. The Reds underachieve. They'll have a couple good games. A player will have a nice little hot streak. And then you guys focus on that instead of the problem at hand, which is David Bell continues to make decisions that either cost the team games or almost cost the team games. Iglesias, if you trusted him in those, and that's the thing. David Bell knows what he's doing. That's why he put Iglesias in that game. Really. That's why he put Iglesias in that game. That's why he put, if he trusted Iglesias in those situations, if he truly felt that Iglesias was best in those situations, then please answer me this, riddle me this. Why in the world did the Reds go out and get a closer at the trade deadline? Why did they feel like that is what was best for the Cincinnati Reds that night? That's what I would like to know. That's what I mean. They go out and they get Archie Bradley. They went out and got Archie Bradley for one reason and one reason only, and that's because they didn't trust Iglesias. And then you bring him in, you bring Archie Bradley into a game where you're down 16-2, or you lost 16-2. I don't even remember what the score was when they brought him in. But you brought Archie Bradley in to be able to take care of games in those situations. And then you used him in a game, a meaningless game. And then the very next night, Iglesias also pitched in that 16-2 game, and you still went to Iglesias. And the whole reason that you went out and got Archie Bradley is because Iglesias had proven on multiple occasions that you can't count on him in those situations. That's what the problem is. All right, Reds fans, head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, and leave your reaction in the chat section, in the comment section, and I'll be able to pull them into the show and react that way. The phones are down, so we're only going to be able to interact with you on Facebook and on YouTube today. If you have a YouTube account, search ESPN Dayton's YouTube page. You'll be able to watch the show live and also interact with the show that way. So again, head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, follow along, and interact that way. But again, answer me this: we didn't have time to get to some Reds talk yesterday. I wanted to react to that game the other night. They got a 4-3 win over the Cardinals. They were off yesterday, and they're back at it today. A doubleheader with the Reds coming, or with the Pirates. Coming up at 4:05. We will not carry the doubleheaders tonight, as I mentioned, because we're going to stay on the air with the Justin Kinner Show, and then we have high school football later on tonight. We're bringing you Springfield and Centerville. Let's go to Travco. Travco says, due to COVID-19, we are asking people to stay 6 feet apart. If you are unsure of what 6 feet is, imagine a Browns wide receiver. Now picture where Baker threw the ball. That is 6 feet away. And that Travco, this is why I have to read these before I put them on there. You're going to take shots at the Browns like that. Actually, never mind. You can't defend the Bengals. Can't defend the Bengals. You just can't. All right, we'll get back into some of this Reds talk here in just a moment. I'm starting to see some more chat coming in on the Facebook and YouTube side. We'll bring your reactions in the show. Again, the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Follow along. Leave your comments on the Reds in the comment section. We'll react to those coming up in a bit. You're listening to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 77 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 51. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 81. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Not so long ago, lots of things made people happy.
I used to love going to the gym.
I miss saying good morning to my coworkers. Today, there are still things that can make people happy.
Oh, how pretty.
A beautiful bouquet of flowers will definitely make someone happy.
First Florist and Greenhouses can help you make someone happy. Go to firsttheflorist.com, choose a bouquet, and they'll deliver it safely. Make someone happy with First Florist and Greenhouses.
Hiring the best people can transform your business and help take it to another level. Indeed can certainly help you find those talented people. We have nearly 3/4 of all job seekers in the U.S., according to ComScore, and smart tools to help you find the best candidate for you. Indeed also provides flexibility to only pay for what you need and won't lock you into any long-term contracts. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast when you post your first job at Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Now at Menards, save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Nobody beats our selection of ideal garage doors. New residential garage doors can provide a decorative touch that will enhance your home's curb appeal. Right now, all ideal garage doors are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through September 5th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Ready to take on that painting project? Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 35% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $25.02, August 27th through September 7th. With 35% off our exceptional paints and stains, you can give some color love to your bathroom, living room, or every room in your home. Shop in store or order online for curbside pickup. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Customers, students, and staff expect a new level of clean. Cintas has the essential products and services to help you carry out cleaning protocols effectively. Cintas performs surface sanitizer and disinfectant spray services to common touchpoints, installs and refills touchless hand sanitizer dispensers, and provides commercial laundry services to help minimize employee exposure. Give everyone the confidence they need to keep coming back. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every home run.
It is gone into the second deck and left. A 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez.
Cincinnati Reds baseball. Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Happy Friday once again. We opened up talking Reds and Pirates coming up 4:05. Again, doubleheader. We knocked it out today, of course, because of the high school football matchup we have with Centerville and Springfield coming up later on this evening. 7 o'clock the kickoff. Every high school, all of our ESPN Dayton high school football game of the weeks are brought to you by, of course, Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Springfield at Centerville tonight, 7 o'clock the kickoff. All right, so I'm starting to notice a trend in the NFL, Kev. A lot of veteran players have been cut over the last couple of days. One of the bigger names that was cut, of course, recently was Adrian Peterson. It was announced earlier today. Now, he said it caught him off guard. It really caught him off guard, and that he was not expecting it, that he felt he had a really good season last year, and that he was he was getting all the first-team reps this year. And he says he's really confused as to why he would be let go at the timing of which he did. Now, again, Adrian Peterson, say what you want. I saw some people earlier saying, he needs to retire. Adrian Peterson started all but one game last season.
Right.
He started all but one game last season. And I like the idea of having a veteran running back on, especially if you're Dwayne Haskins. Yeah. And that's a very young team to begin with. It's just one of those things where I'm like, well, you know what? I don't see what he hurts. I mean, again, it's probably I'm sure money and all that type of thing.
I don't think his contract is crazy, though.
I don't see how it could be. Because, that's why he was doing the year to year and everything was a controllable thing anyways. He's 13 years in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. He has a lot of wear and tear on him. He's over 3,000 carries in his career. He has over 14,000 rushing yards in his career. He's rushed for over 100 touchdowns in his career. But Adrian Peterson, when you look at what he was able to do last year, still was a guy that was producing more than a lot of guys. For one, okay, if you look at Adrian Peterson, 15 starts last year. Todd Gurley had the same amount of starts. Adrian Peterson had more rushing yards than Todd Gurley. Okay, he had more rushing yards than Alvin Kamara. We're sitting here, and again, a lot of these running backs, to your point, Kev, they're being used differently than in years past. There's a lot of plays being drawn up for them to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. You're clearly
not in the eye anymore.
Yeah, you're not doing that for Adrian Peterson. So that's why a lot of these, when you start to look at some of the other running backs around the league, Devontae Freeman, he had more rushing yards than Frank Gore. He had more rushing yards. You're just going down the list, and now you're starting to get into some of the, LaShawn McCoy, James Conner. And James Conner, I think, missed some significant games. Yeah, he missed 6 games last season as far as that's concerned. So the question is now is where does he make sense? Where could Adrian Peterson land up? Because again, we've seen, and again, the running back movement over the next couple of seasons, especially over the next year, is going to be beyond impressive as far as that's concerned, because there's so many big name running backs in the free agent market next year. But the thing is, as far as that, I don't think he's going to be asking for a lot of money. He's not going to cost you a ton of money. And if you look around the National Football League, the other trend and pattern that we are seeing is multiple running backs. You look at what the Buccaneers just did with Leonard Fournette. They have 2 elite level running backs right there. At least one really, 2 guys that could be starting for any team in the National Football League. The Colts, they already had Mack. They went and they got Jonathan Taylor. We talked about that. The Ravens had Ingram. They go and they get J.K. Dobbins. The Browns have Kareem Hunt and they have Nick Chubb. The Bengals have Joe Mixon and Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
would it make sense for the Bengals? No, you're right. Yes, Bernard. But I don't think. But what I was bringing up all those tandem running backs in the National Football League, because that's what they're doing now. And I'm sure I'm missing some other obvious ones out there, some real obvious ones. But look, when you look at the fact that I think he'd make a great complementary. He would be a great complementary piece to Joe Mixon in Cincinnati. Joe Mixon or the Bengals have been very aggressive. I don't know if they would make this move. Leonard Fournette would have been too big of a move for them to make as far as the $4 or $5 million that would have cost to go get him after giving 12.5 on an extension to Joe Mixon. But I think Adrian Peterson makes a very at least interesting consideration for the Cincinnati Bengals if you want to put him with Mixon in that backfield.
I like it. Both Boomer Sooner guys teaming up in the backfield, both power backs. Obviously, Joe Mixon has the catching ability that AP doesn't have, but I like it. I just want to look at Washington's running back depth chart. You let go of a Hall of Fame running back in AP. Darius Geis was cut because alleged rape accusations. Chris Thompson is with the Jags now, so your 3 top running backs from last season are gone.
Yeah, you look at Joe Mixon again, by the way. Joe Mixon last season, again, had 278 carries, rushed for 1,100 yards, and started in all 16 games. Joe Mixon is durable. Adrian Peterson, at his age even, Kevin, is very durable. I'm not against – I actually really like the idea of the Cincinnati Bengals potentially at least kicking the tires on that. Now, Billy Wright says – okay, cool. Thanks. Billy Wright says on Facebook that AP ends up backing up Zeke in Dallas. Billy, let me ask you that, I don't like when we say backing up Zeke, I think he would be a secondary running back. We don't really call him backups anymore because if you're the running back A and running back B, you're getting a lot of touches on that field. You were seeing that, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not being funny by bringing up the Browns, but the Browns, if they could find a way to get a decent amount of usage out of Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you're seeing that across the league. The Ravens are planning that with Dobbins. You're going to see the Colts come and do that with Jonathan Taylor and Mack. Ron Howard says he's 35. Really? Ron, are you asking that a question mark? Really? 35, you think he could do that? Just clarify on that. Again, he's 35. He was 34. And he's still one of the best. Again, he's not top 10 back in the league.
He's not what he was.
But if the dude still wants to play and he's still producing at his age and he's durable, because that's what, when people start bringing up age, I don't look at numbers. I look at I don't look at stats. I look at games played, games started, games missed. He's not injury prone for his age. He's very durable. That's why he was a good fit, I thought, in Washington. So we'll see. I like him a lot because here's why. If you want to take advantage of Joe Mixon's ability to catch it in the backfield, to be able to make plays in the open field like that, you're actually preserving Joe Mixon, because if you're going to allow Adrian Peterson to take care of some of the hard hitting up at the line, I kind of like that too. The Bengals name will not get brought up in this. I think it should. Again, I think a lot of people just think they roll their eyes at that because they know that for an office and they're not very thinking outside the box. This would be an outside the box get for the Bengals. I think they should at least consider it. Again, Billy says the Cowboys. Travis says, I'm sure he's already on his way to Foxborough. That wouldn't be that bad of a spot for him either. Everyone says, they have Sonny Michel. Sonny Michel, Adrian Peterson was 18th in rushing last year. Sonny Michel was 6th or 17th, and both started 15 or more games. Sonny Michel started every game. Adrian Peterson only missed one. And you look at Sonny Michel, he only rushed for 20 more yards than Adrian Peterson last year. So we'll see. And again, the Patriots, they're letting guys go. They let go of Sanu, and he had $4 or $5 million on that contract. That was just a salary cut as far as that's concerned. I don't know. Where do you see him
Dallas
up?
I like Dallas for him. Obviously, Zeke is the bell cow, but the backup for Zeke is Tony Pollard. If you can lock in a Hall of Fame running back that's still putting up good numbers. People want to talk about AP is 35. Well, guess what? Frank Gore is 37, and he's still in the league producing. I saw last night Frank Gore Jr. playing at Southern Miss. So, that's how old Frank Gore is. His son is playing college football now. So think about that. But, I believe AP, we all know AP can still play. He produced last year. Why wouldn't he be able to produce this year? And if he's saying that he's getting all the first team reps, why would they cut him? Why would you get rid of him? Who's going to tote the route for you guys? You're going to have to run the ball pretty effectively. I know Haskins got some run last year and he's in a lot better shape this year, but he's still a young quarterback. A running game helps a young quarterback. Play action, tight ends, swing passes, that type of thing helps young quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top 10 or top 50 in rushing last year. Washington, a lot of teams have multiple backs, and even the quarterbacks. That's not the case as far as that's concerned. But 457-9464, we got the phones back up and running. By the way, real quick on Facebook, Steve Stetler says, just teed off, so keep it interesting today, guys. Peterson trains like a beast. He's good for another year. Asset, yes. Bengals, go get him. Go get him, Bengals. I mean, why not? If you're the Steelers, do you do it? Probably not, because they have shown zero interest in all the top backs that have been available.
Not the Steelers' way.
So but could it be their way because of how cheap he could end up being?
Won't do it.
Then that right there will be the demise of the Steelers right there.
Okay.
No, I'm serious right there. Like
that's not their way.
It needs to be. They're going to have to learn how to be aggressive at some point, because right now they have lost more talent than they've brought in. Outside of the draft, they draft real well, but again,
that's how they play. They build through the draft, and it's not free agency.
I can't wait. They're on their way down in that division. It's gonna be so great. They that ticks me up. Oh, it's our Steeler way. Oh, you're bragging about a way that let's see, you haven't won a Super Bowl in the last decade. You have more elite talent leave your team than come in, and you're getting older and worse. And yet, instead of trying to get better, all these talented players are available, and you're like, it's not the Steeler way. That's fine. The Steeler way is going to look a lot like the Browns way here before too long if they don't get their stuff together.
I'll take that bet.
Take that bet as far as what? How we shaping
I'll take that bet.
How we shaping it?
What? Who has the most wins? Who goes further in the playoffs? What do you want to do? How you want to play it?
We'll think about it. We'll position this. I'm just saying, everyone else is going after talent, and everyone else is trying to get better. And there's the Steelers, just like, no, we're good. We like
they build through the draft.
We like our geriatric quarterback.
We build through the draft.
Yes, you got lucky with the outlier Ben Roethlisberger out of Miami of Ohio.
Actually, the best quarterbacks in the NFL come from smaller schools, not from these big powerhouse schools like Ohio State.
With the first pick in the 2020 NFL draft, the Jaguars have ignored Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson.
I'm just saying.
They would draft Justin Fields, but he doesn't play for a real college team right now. Yeah, we'll get into all of that. Let's go to the phones. DoorDash Ray, are you taking advantage of that $100 little bonus that they're doing? Are you getting your 60 deliveries in?
I'm already at 50 deliveries, young man.
Baller! Oh, I'm the only one of us three right now that is not trying to take advantage of that.
Why not? What do you mean? We're not getting any more pizza taste for some dumb reason, so you have to take advantage of this bonus.
That's because people aren't ordering DoorDash as much as they used to. It's really frustrating.
I think you must have cashed in some investments. Maybe you got some funds that we don't know about. Maybe you're rolling in the dough. You don't really need that extra.
That's definitely not the case. Actually, it's the opposite. I keep spending all my money to go golf. That's basically what it's coming down to.
And you're married, so right there, you.
I am not married. I am not married, actually.
I thought you were. Okay, never mind. All right.
No.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
We've been together 8 years. We're just not married.
Oh, well, you might as well be. You're living the life, So you might as well be. Listen, here's where AP's going, because I already know. I bleed black and silver, dude. Let me tell you.
The Raiders.
He's coming to Oakland. Well, I got ready to say he's coming to Oakland. He's coming to the Raiders. And here's why. Everything you just said makes sense. I mean, the Bengals makes complete sense. Get you a nice veteran back there with Joe Burrow. Nice veteran. You got some good receivers. A good staff, good young staff. Everybody's going to say New England. I mean, I can see that as well. But I'm telling you, John Gruden has a way of pulling these old guys in. We just had Rod Smith and we let him go. I think he failed a physical or something. We got a good third down back, Jalen Richard. We got, Josh Jacobs obviously coming off a great season. But, dude, we've always had that good veteran backup to come in, kind of give somebody a rest at a bargain basement price, obviously. And I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to pull some strings. I think he's going to come out there. Of course, Jay, John's brother, he coached him for a year or two, I think. And I think AP he's going to want to come out. It's a new venue. It's a new thing. And if he gets in there like he did the last couple of years, I mean, I picked him up on fantasy a couple of years ago. And he did pretty well when he got in there. And then last year he had a pretty decent year for being an old guy. And I'm telling you, I think that's where he's going to end up. And I don't think a lot of your listeners are going to say that because you don't have a whole lot of Raider fans out there. They are. But
be surprised.
Well, they don't speak up for good reason, man. I've been a fan for like 35 years, and this is in Loserville, as you know. So, but no, I just really I see that happening because I know this team very well, and we running back. We love veteran running backs. We even had C.J. Anderson there for like a month, a couple seasons ago, and I think he got hurt. So usually what happens, these veterans in there, if something happens either at practice or just like Damon Arnett fractured his thumb the other day, our draft pick from Ohio State. So we're down a cornerback now, but I can see him coming out there, man. I really can. And we'll just see what happens. But
I think Adrian Peterson, he's one of those where the reason the market for AP is so big is mainly because a lot of teams who already have, like, if you're looking to make him your feature back, that's probably not going to work. But there are a lot of playoff teams who already have good backs who could definitely complement him with that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, again, we've seen so many teams have two really good running backs on their roster, and that's how they're kind of basing their attack. That's why people keep bringing up Dallas as one, putting him with Zeke as far as that's concerned. You talk about the Raiders and the attack that they're going to have. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, look, and by the way, the Buccaneers, I think we could at least say they're out on this one. My goodness, every time a player becomes available, they're over there knocking on their door. So good for them.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was just going to say look out for Tampa Bay because they just cut that other running back when they brought Fournette over there.
They ain't going to go. No. They're good.
You don't think?
No, they're good. They got their 1A and 1B. They're good.
Okay, well, we'll see. Like I said, well, anyway, listen, I'll let you guys go. Love you guys. Great show as always. Justin, go get that money. League fee. I mean, green fees are expensive because you got to get a card.
I don't walk. I will never walk. I always make fun when I see people walking, golfing. I'm like, why? What are you trying to prove? You think you're better than me? Like, what?
Yeah, because by the time you get there, your beer gets cold. I mean, your beer gets hot. You got walking for the birds. You need a card. So go get that money, Justin.
Adios. Yeah. By the way, please explain to me this. Why do people walk when they golf? Like,
never.
Now, and again, my thinking is this. You should walk, it'll save you money. If I can't afford to purchase the cart when I golf, I can't afford to golf then. So I'm just going to not golf. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't think highly of people who walk when they golf. I mean, high schoolers, they make them do it. I get that. But the second you graduate and you're able to go golf on your own, get that damn golf cart. Let's go. Like this morning, he had people walking in front of us, walking behind us. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, we're ready to go. Come on, chop, chop. I don't have time for this. Then nothing ticks me off more. Like, and I'm curious for you golfers out there, what is more annoying when golfing? Waiting on people in front of you or having people on your ass behind you? What is more annoying when you golf? I want to hear from golfers. Head to Facebook, The Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Search it, like it, comment underneath the live video right now. I want to get a good feel for this because I don't get like a lot of buddies when I go golfing with them. Oh, hurry up. They're coming up behind us. I'm like, relax. We're good. We're fine. It doesn't bother me when people are waiting behind me. What I can't stand, like my anger starts boiling, is when I'm waiting on people in front of me. And then when I'm watching them, their every move, and then, they can't find their ball or they're over there on their phone, or they're smoking a damn cigarette. Oh gosh, that stuff just irritates the living heck out of me. I'm 457-9464 or on the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. People, what bothers you more? What's more annoying when people are riding your ass, and when you're when you're golfing, or when you're waiting on people in front of you who are screwing around the whole time? We'll get it started. Nick says people behind. Nothing bothers him more than people who are right up behind him. I'm curious.
Breathing on his neck.
So we're going to step away for a few moments. I want to hear from you golfers. Do you hate people who are slowing you up in front of you, or people who are riding your ass behind you? What's more annoying? We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks, and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land. It's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Foot odor throwing you off your game? Stick to a winning game plan with Odor Eaters, featuring 3 advanced odor and wetness fighters. The lineup provides long-lasting odor control plus more to keep your feet on their game.
And if you didn't know, Odor Eaters powder provides outstanding moisture control. Clear drying spray is the MVP in preventing athlete's foot, while insoles work continuously to manage wetness while adding a layer of comfort. Pick up today at Walmart, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or other fine retailers.
Odor Eaters destroy foot odor with the best in odor defense.
Napa know-how. Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at your local automotive retailer.
Montgomery County Veterans. The Montgomery County Veterans Services Commission is here to serve you. You served your country, and now it's time we serve you. You're entitled to various VA benefits as a direct result of your service, to include compensation, pension, burial, and education. Call 937-225-4801 or online at mcvsc.org. The time is now. Come to the old St. Elizabeth Hospital next to the Kindred Hospital, and we'll be there to serve you. That number again is 937-225-4801.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing.
No, guys, it's not you.
We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again. Safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tire, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
Goodyear knows why we all love basketball. It's the sound of the buzzer, the roar of the crowd, the swish of the net. It's the spin on the ball as it's released, the squeaking sneakers before an inbound pass, the timeout that gives us perspective on the moment. We love basketball because we love movement. And now that it's back, we're asking you, the fans, what moves you? Goodyear, more driven.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World.
The year is 2019, and someone is getting up to use the bathroom at the stadium.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, sorry.
Excuse me? Mind if I just squeeze by here?
This has been The Sounds of the Old World.
Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint, which means premium quality paint and Ace's award-winning service are now just around the block. If you want a new look no further than Ace.
Follow ESPN 1410 Wing AM on Facebook to watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Listen, stream, and now watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Springfield at Centerville tonight. College Football Hall of Famer Keith Byers and myself will be on the call for our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Kettering Health Network. Kickoff at 7, and we'll have all the action for you tonight and every Friday throughout the regular season. For those watching on Facebook and YouTube, here's our upcoming schedule. Again, we have quite a few Centerville and Fairmont games, just due to having to keep it close within proximity here around the station again. So we'll have Wayne at Centerville next week, Miamisburg, Fairmont in week 4, Fairmont at Wayne week 5, and then Miamisburg and Centerville in week 6. So again, just head to wingam.com and you'll be able to access all of our high school football content, including all of our weekly interviews with our local coaches. If you head to wingam.com, click on the high school football game of the week tab, you'll be able to watch the interviews that we've done with Coach Brent Ullery for Centerville, last week Dave Miller for Fairmont. So make sure you access all that content at wingam.com. Okay, let's pick up with where we left off, because I went golfing earlier this morning. And it's funny that the last few times I've golfed, the different people I've golfed with, everyone has their different tendencies or their different triggers as far as what irritates them out on the golf course. For me, I don't care when people are behind me. That doesn't change how I approach anything. When it doesn't. I don't get antsy when I'm teeing off, like feeling like, oh man, I need to hurry up. I'm going to take when I tee off, I'm going to go, I'm doing my thing. I'm going to tee off. I'm going to just keep moving forward. That don't bother. What I can't stand, though, I'm the opposite. The people in front of me drive me nuts. I'm impatient, especially when you're and I think I've noticed that when I'm golfing well, that's when I get more pissed. That's when I get more angry. That's when because you know what I mean? When you hit a good shot, you're like, oh man, I got to do that. Especially when you hit a good drive, man. Like, there's nothing better. The sound of it, the perfect sound, the feel of it, the follow through, everything. I mean, nothing tops that. And then it's like you're getting anxious. You just want to go. If you're putting well, the same thing. You just want to hurry up, get on the green so you can continue your, rolling the way you have. Nothing infuriates me more than especially people who are walking. People who walk drive me nuts. So I said, so I want to hear from golfers. Okay, 457-9464, or again, search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Everyone has Facebook. Head to Facebook now. The Justin Kinner Show. We are live. You could watch the show daily on Facebook, and your reactions within the chat section, the comment section, we'll pull them in. Billy Wright says that he hates golfers in front. So Nick says he doesn't like when people are behind him, kind of rushing him a little bit. Billy says he hates slow golfers in front of him. Billy also goes on to say, I hate when people who are 250 out wait for groups to get off the green, knowing damn well they can't hit it 150 yards. I'm talking to you, old people. That's from Billy. Billy Wright on Facebook. Exactly. Like, how when you're waiting people in front of you, like, are they on the green yet? Well, I'm just going to let them wait. No, go. You really going to hit the green with this par 5? You're really gonna no, that ain't gonna work. Mike, this is the response of the day so far. Mike says on Facebook that walking is for the married guys so we can stay out longer. Touche, Mike. And Nick also says that now people that take 20 minutes to read that double bogey putt. No, yes, that's the other thing. Like, we're on the damn PGA Tour or something. I can't stand when people they do that they hold their putter and then they squat down looking like damn Tiger Woods, then they stare at the hole and then they take their hands and they're like measuring it. Stop it. Like, no. As if they really know what the hell they're doing. I mean, look, it doesn't take me that long.
Just because you don't know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. I look at the green. I'm like, oh, look, it slopes left. Oh, look, it slopes right. Oh, look. Hey, if it starts rolling on the other side, you don't want to hit it too hard. It's better to be, it's better to, hold up front than it is to go long. So no, yes, Nick, thank you. Bravo for that. Bravo. Let's go to the phones. AJ, do you hate when golfers are too close behind you or taking too long in front of you?
My biggest pet peeve, like Nick said, guys who take too long to line up a like double bogey or triple bogey putt.
Oh yeah. What about the rangefinder guys? Do you have a rangefinder?
I have a rangefinder. They come in handy. Yeah. I mean, if you know what the yardage is, that's helpful. That helps speeds up the game.
I was at Yankee today. Yankee, the golf carts had them in there. Those are some nice golf carts, by the way.
Yeah, those are nice. I think your hang up with the carts though is, I actually think that walking, if you're not spraying it all over the yard, gets you there faster because you're not having each player can go to their ball after they hit.
I will say this too. I've never seen a bad golfer who walks. Like people who walk usually have confidence in their ability to hit it straight. Like
better be walking 18 holes.
But that's the thing. I could never do that. Even if I was in the best shape of my life, I still wouldn't walk.
Cards come in handy for a ball search.
Well, that's probably why I'm all about the cards then, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I feel like you're not letting on those Bogey Boy promotions that you have. I feel like you have more lost balls.
Well, we only have 60 seconds in those. We only have 60 seconds in those commercials, man. All right. Hey, thanks, AJ. Okay, appreciate it. You have a great weekend. All right. Again, a 3-day weekend coming up. There's going to be a lot of golf going on. I have a couple of tee times for the weekend, so I'm excited about that. We're going to be at Wendy Knoll on Monday, Meadowbrook at Clayton tomorrow. So I'm excited about that over the weekend. I'm obsessed with golfing now. I'm not very good, but I'm obsessed. This is my first summer where I've actually invested a lot of time and freaking money and money into that as far as that goes. I got a new driver today. I hit that damn thing straight every damn time. It's the best feeling in the world.
No more late tee times, man. It's dark at 8:15.
Well, yeah. Like I said the other day, usually I'm setting tee times around 6:45, 6:50, just so I have time to get off work and get there, maybe get on the range. Now we had a 6:20 tee time the other day and couldn't finish 9. So, nope, not about that as far as that's concerned. But, all right, 457-9464. Of course, head to the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Again, the question, when you are, for all my golfers out there, when you're golfing, do you hate when people, what do you hate more? People who are too close up on you, who are rushing you, or is it the guys who take too long in front of you? Which one do you hate more? You could say both, but again, one has to get you more than the other. I don't mind people rushing me. I can't stand waiting on people. I'm so impatient. So impatient. Everything, exactly. Billy Wright says he's going to be at Castle Hills tomorrow. Where are we golfing this weekend, folks? I haven't golfed at many in the area. I kind of like to stick to the same ones. Where are we golfing this weekend? More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Ready to take on that painting project? Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 35% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $25.02, August 27th through September 7th. With 35% off our exceptional paints and stains, you can give some color love to your bathroom, living room, or every room in your home. Shop in store or order online for curbside pickup. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
And now another edition of Obvious News from Geico. A study says that soft talkers do not make great radio personalities. We asked local librarian Steve Sage about this, and here's what he said.
Honestly, I don't buy it. I think I make very captivating radio.
Also in Obvious News, Geico makes it easy to save money and easy to manage your policy with the Geico app. So switching is a really smart decision. How does Steve feel about this?
I love the Geico app. I use it all the time.
That's Obvious News from Geico.
Obvious News. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dealing with battery problems? We've got you. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a free charge, we can help with that too. And if it's time for a new battery, we've got you covered. We're the only place you can find Duralast, the batteries more consumers choose. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination, where help is always in stock. Claims based on a proprietary consumer study and data from the MPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit Geico.com to learn more.
ESPN Dayton's fan hotline, 937-210-9676. Something on your mind? Let us know. Leave a voicemail or text us your hot sports take. All takes will be heard weekday afternoons on the Justin Kinner Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Save 937-210-9676 in your phone. It's the ESPN Dayton fan hotline. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, everybody, we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, hour 2 with you here on a Friday, embarking on a 3-day weekend. How about that? Excited to kind of have a few days off. And as I mentioned, golfing this weekend. I'm going to be at a Windy Knoll on Monday. Meadowbrook at Clayton tomorrow. Windy Knoll Golf Club in Springfield, Ohio is Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course. What used to be a world-class horse farm is now a stunning golf course complete with full-size steel horse sculptures and black rail fencing all around the course. And it's open to the public at Windy Knoll. You'll find outstanding course conditions and a truly exceptional golf experience. Again, Billy Wright says he's going to go, he'll be at Castle Hills tomorrow, Sugar Isle on Sunday. So there you go. So many different golf courses out there. All right. Again, as we talked about some big news again out of the NFL, Adrian Peterson was cut. And you're probably saying, who cares, Adrian Peterson? He is old and washed up. But again, we talked about some of the top running backs that he had more rushing yards and attempts than last year. He started 15 of the 16 games last year for his age. Again, people like to bring up he's 34 years old. He's durable. I think he's durable, Kevin. Like, I definitely don't think you should bring him in. And maybe that's Washington. Like, I'll give Washington this. Maybe they're looking at it as, you know what, we need to upgrade our feature back. Like, I know that's maybe not how they word it, but like maybe it's like, okay, he's not our guy. But again, until you get a feature back, like why would you not have made a run at Leonard Fournette? Between Leonard Fournette that was available, Todd Gurley was available throughout this offseason. You know what I mean? There's so many big running backs that were available, and yet you didn't even effort to go get those guys. So cutting Adrian Peterson just does not make any sense to me. However, you know what? Maybe they're thinking, again, do you know what they were paying him?
I don't. I'm trying to find that. I can't find anything.
All right, that's fine. But I mean, again, he's not top 10 as far as paid running backs in the league, so it doesn't matter. So there's really not a justifiable reason, or at least a good one, as far as to why they get moved on from him. So my point, and Bengals fans, I'm telling you, I still think that Adrian Peterson would be a good fit in Cincinnati. I do. Now, he's a free agent. Doesn't mean he would pick Cincinnati. All I'm saying is I do think that he would be a tremendous compliment to Joe Mixon. Adrian Peterson wouldn't be the guy in Cincinnati. That's Joe Mixon. The Bengals made that clear when they gave him the extension the other day. But, Kev, man, I'm telling you, I really, really like that idea. And Bengals fans, I don't know what would it hurt? I think it would help. Right now, you need to do your best to provide Joe Burrow with as many weapons as possible. You can make fun of the Browns all you want. I'm not talking about how the outcome of last season was, but the one thing I'll always give the Browns credit for is that they didn't sit around and just not give him weapons. Like, they provided Baker Mayfield with every weapon you can imagine, especially this past offseason. Now, I'm not saying the Bengals haven't done that. The Bengals have done a very good job with that. I mean, I think they did really good in the draft. For one, yes, you got Joe Burrow. T. Higgins was a steal. You extended Joe Mixon. Hopefully you get A.J. Green back. You had Tyler Boyd last year that you got the extension done with him. So the weapons are there for Joe Burrow. But again, when you have an opportunity to add a veteran back like that, who, again, we're talking about protecting Joe Burrow, Kev, but you would also like to maybe protect a little bit Joe Mixon, another guy you've invested money in. And if Adrian Peterson can take care of some of the heavy lifting up front, taking advantage of the athleticism and the plays in the flats like that with Joe Mixon, I think would make a ton of sense. And again, just another veteran weapon for Joe Burrow to kind of fall into his comfort zone when the season starts. No preseason. You're going to need all the veterans around him that you can to help ease him in to the season.
Just to backtrack a little bit on Washington, they actually drafted Antonio Gibson out of Memphis in the second round. And during his time at Memphis, he had 44 receptions for 834 yards and 370 rushing yards in 2 seasons at Memphis. So, maybe that's the play that they're going with. Maybe that younger backfield situation. So they drafted him, and that's the only running back that they drafted over the last 2 years. Gibson, that's it. So maybe they're going with the young boy and see what he can do. Because he's going to have to, because I'm trying to find another running back on their roster. We talked about Darius Guy's situation and them letting Chris Thompson walk away to the Jags. So maybe that's something they're going with the young running back.
All right, a couple more headlines out of the National Football League, which, by the way, like when we come back on Tuesday, we're literally going to be talking about the NFL kicking off 2 days later. Like, when we come back on Tuesday, that is crazy to me. And then I picked a bad week to take off. I'm going to be off the following week. And
rookie.
No, you will know. I promise you that we won't be on the air that following week, which is horrible because it's week 1 of the NFL season. However, I promise you, when the Browns beat the Ravens.
No.
When
You
the
already
Browns
conceded defeat.
I don't think I ever said they were definitely losing.
You did. You said they're going to lose the opening game to the Ravens, but they're still going 12-4.
Nah, I'm taking that 13-3 now, baby. No. Nothing's official. First of all, just chill. I like their chances against the Ravens.
So, but you still sticking with 12-4?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 12-4, yeah. 12-4, yeah. Okay. So I'm sticking to that. Now, what was it? Was it on Keyshawn J. Will and Zubin this morning? Keyshawn Johnson. Again, they were given their predictions for the season, and they predicted that the Chiefs would get back to the Super Bowl to defend their Super Bowl championship from a year ago. But you know who they have beating to get to the Super Bowl? The Cleveland Browns. And I've never been more proud to say we are going to lose a game in the playoffs to the Kansas City Chiefs. But you know how good it feels that to hear Keyshawn just say it so as a matter of fact. So there you go. Chris says, I think Justin secretly believes the Bengals lineup looks sexier than the Browns. I do not think that at all, actually. I think that, that embarrassing little upfront line that you guys have, that everyone that they keep trying to convince people is good. I don't think that's good at all. The Browns have you there. At quarterback, the Browns have you there. At wide receivers, the Browns have you there. At tight ends, the Browns have you there. So no, I do not think that the Bengals lineup looks sexier than the Browns. And defensively, I think the Browns defense is not very good, and I still think their defense is better than the Cincinnati Bengals. So there you go.
Who's the best receiver on Cincinnati?
Boyd, right now, and when healthy, AJ Green, without even a tiny bit of hesitation for me. Up until 2 years ago, I made fun of the Bengals and always left him out of my comments because I like AJ Green. But when you miss 2 seasons, and then complain because you're not getting paid and complain because you're not getting extensions. That means you're tone deaf to the situation as far as that's concerned. I mean, you should want to be paid. You could want to be paid. But I mean, again, to act like the Bengals are in the wrong for not giving him the extension, I think that's kind of crazy. So, but no, nonetheless, keep in mind the Bengals, the one good thing that they do is they take care of their guys. When they, AJ Green, I think the Bengals were smart not to just give him an extension just because he's AJ Green. They're basically saying, okay, we're going to do we're going to exercise the option this year. And then of course we'll see what happens after that. But Joe Mixon, he deserved it. They gave it to him. Well, they paid Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins a few years ago. I think people knew it was coming, but they didn't exactly expect when. That was good. I like that. The Bengals do a good job at taking care of their own. It's being able to find the right talent from the outside to bring them in that has been the problem. So that's been my concern for the Bengals. If I'm going to give a serious assessment without the trolling tone, that's where I'm at as far as the Bengals are concerned.
Who's the best receiver on the Browns?
OBJ. He had a bad year. He was hurt. I mean, again, he has another year like last year. We'll reassess. But right now, no, without any. I mean, he's paid like the best
years
receiver.
Like that, though. They just weren't with the Browns. The year he had last year.
No one's giving receivers that kind of money for no damn reason. I'm just saying.
He had years like that. They just were with the Giants.
And they paid him because
he's a name.
And he has a name because
of one catch.
So one catch gets him paid.
Yes. You almost made me.
So the Giants had a lot. Then what about the two receivers that had those Super Bowl catches? How come they didn't get paid?
They weren't as good as him.
But if we're just calling it one catch, I mean, those catches were at least, they won Super Bowls. So those catches are bigger than any one catch that OBJ has had. So it doesn't make any sense to your hate for OBJ.
It's not. Jarvis Landry is a better wide receiver.
Coming from a guy who supports a team that had Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Unreal. And now you have Juju Smith-Schuster as your number one.
Yeah.
Aye.
Deontay Johnson's going to be the number one, by the way.
Wait, what?
Deontay Johnson's the number one receiver.
That's why you'll be the third or fourth best team in the AFC North this year.
And nobody heard of Antonio Brown when he was a 7th round receiver coming out of Central Michigan.
And now everyone hears from him.
Yeah, he was the best receiver in the league.
See,
nobody develops receivers like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. Don Roberts on Facebook says the hype of the Browns roster has got to come through on the field. No, really. It is getting old to hear about it. And then they don't produce. Okay, they've only had talent for 1 year, Don. So I would love to know, like when people say that, like it's just, when people do this, it is just pure hatred for the Browns. It is that simple. What are people talking about? Oh, I'm so tired of hearing about it. The roster, the talent has to produce. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's the same thing every year. What do you mean every year? It's been 1 year. The Browns have had talent for 1 year. Oh no, they added talent 2 years ago. They went from 0-16 to winning 7 games. That's a 7-game improvement with that talent. Yes. So what? I've acknowledged on a million different occasions that the Browns screwed up last year. I've said it a million times. I've even come on these airwaves and said, Baker Mayfield, it's make or break. You either succeed this year or you're done. And there's no questions asked. I've realistically assess the situation in Cleveland. Very well aware of that. But that's not going to, because of last year, that's not going to stop me from being excited because the team that went and got talent last year had a bad year because they made a bonehead decision with who they decided to let run the team. They said, you know what, we're going to get more talent. We're going to go make Hooper at the time the highest paid tight end in football. They go out and they're aggressive on defense. So that's all. That's all I'm trying to say. They don't produce. It's a must season for the Browns, whether you like it or not. Donnie, I've said that. And I mean, what do you mean whether I like it or not? That's whether I like it or not. It's just the hate. And that's why I forgot. And Don's a good dude, by the way. I'm not really getting on Don too much, but Don he's one of you, Kev.
What's up?
He's a Steelers guy.
He's a great man over there.
He's a Steelers
What's up, Don?
guy.
How you doing?
He's a Steelers fan.
Does Jack Conklin fix the offensive line for the Browns?
He is the first part to fixing that. Again, the kid from Alabama is going to be the next part of that. And I have not heard good glowing reviews about the kid from Alabama for the Browns thus far. So that's my concern as far as that. But the key to the Browns' success is going to come with the rookie Willis from, of course, Alabama, and then obviously Conklin, who, I mean, hey, they knew they had weaknesses at offensive line. They went and addressed it. They didn't bring back the same bad offensive line as last year like another team I know and then try to convince everybody that, oh, no, they're better than they seem. Okay, we'll see. We'll see, Bengals fans. We'll see how that goes.
Who has more total yardage Hunt or Chubb?
Hunt or Chubb? Oh, Chubb. And if Hunt does, then that probably means Chubb got injured at a certain point. Chubb's the featured back. Like the featured back thing of, that's how I word it. Like that's the primary back. He's the primary back. That's why a lot of teams are going to those two back, formations and stuff. And that's why I think that the Bengals should look at Adrian Peterson. He wouldn't take carries away. Like last year, by the way, Mixon got better. Like when they brought Kareem Hunt in, when he got, done serving his suspension, Chubb got better. Like I thought Chubb was going to start kind of like not declining as in becoming bad, but I thought his numbers wouldn't look as explosive. His second half run was better than the first half run, and that's because of the presence of Kareem Hunt on the field as far as that goes. So I think Adrian Peterson, as good as Joe Mixon has been, with no offensive line, with no good quarterback, with really not a healthy team to begin with, for him to be able to do all that over the last couple of years and earn the contract he just got on a bad team, imagine what he could do on a good team. And I think Adrian Peterson would help that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that the Bengals should look into it.
A lot of teams are doing that, not only just running two running backs, but they're running pony sets, basically keeping both running backs on the field at the same time, especially if they're explosive. Like
that's what AP said he wanted to do. Like Adrian Peterson said that he's all for jumping in on one of those formations.
Yeah, so that's the wave of the future, the pony sets, where you basically utilizing that talent. I mean, that's the same thing that was been going on down in New Orleans with Alvin Kamara, because you look at Alvin Kamara's numbers and say, oh, well, he only rushed for like 700 yards. He caught balls for like 500 yards. So keeping him on the field at all times, keeping that extra weapon. Is it a distraction? Is it smoke and mirrors? You're running a fake draw to him, throw a screen to the other running back. Like when you have a guy like that, like him, Kareem Hunt, you keep the defense honest. So, I mean, there's no question about the Browns have a lot of offensive talent. There's no question about that. The question is the offensive line, because the offensive line was great at run blocking. It was just pass protection. So is that actually the pass protection, or is it Baker holding on to the ball? I think with Hunt being there this year, the check down is going to be there. He's going to be checking the ball down instead of trying to force the ball. And that's where he got sacked a lot. I'm not going to put all those sacks on the offensive line. We saw him last year running around there like a chicken with his head cut off. It's okay to throw the balls into the stands. It's okay to just run and get 2 yards and slide. It's okay to check down to the running back. He didn't do that last year. It was like he was trying to play like he was at Oklahoma. Like, I want the home run ball. And his rookie year, he did not do that. They developed good plays for him to basically throw to the tight end in the flat or take the shot downfield. For whatever reason, if it was coaching, if it was Baker, he was holding on to the ball way too long. And that's why he got sacked a ton. So if he can clean those things up, that definitely will improve.
Well, keep in mind, too, and I know what you're saying about holding the ball too long. However, that was an effort in no. We say too much all the time that quarterbacks, that they just throw it away and all this stuff. Like, so Baker, that was one criticism of him from his rookie year, that as good as he was, that a lot of times they were showing, that they were like, so when you looked at the film, they were showing film of all of the plays down the field that Baker missed because he either would leave the pocket too soon, or he would throw it away too early, or he would tuck it and run. So Baker the next year, again, trying to be more patient in the pocket, and it ended up being his biggest flaw. We rip quarterbacks all the time who aren't patient in the pocket. Baker was very, very, very patient in the collapsing pocket and didn't get rid of the ball. And again, that goes back to Freddie Kitchens, because Freddie Kitchens acted like a guy, like when you have an Xbox or PlayStation and you create your little super team. And, that was Freddie Kitchens last year with the Browns. He felt that he was playing Xbox and he had a super team, and he was trying to do these 20-plus yard, plays for OBJ and Jarvis Landry every single play. So I agree with you. He was holding the ball too long, but that also goes back to also what you said about, again, the coaches having to be smarter about the plays that they set him up with. Freddie Kitchens was just assuming that, we could just have these big ass plays drawn up and that Baker's going to take advantage and, take the top off the defense and just air it out. That wasn't the case. So when he's holding on the ball too long, Kev, yes, that was the problem, but that was also a result of the bad play calling. That was a result of you're saying, he was trying to go for the home run ball every single time, but the home run ball is what was drawn up every single time as well, as far as that is concerned. So that I definitely agree with what you're saying, but the year before it was the knock of he doesn't stay in the pocket long enough, and that was the year he was protected. Mm-hmm. He didn't get sacked a lot his rookie year. All right. He got sacked, he doubled the amount of sacks his second year in the league last year. He got sacked double the amount of times last year than his rookie season. Okay. So the big criticism of him the first year was that, he's not patient. He doesn't stay in the pocket long enough. So what's he do last year? He stays in a collapsing pocket too long, holds on to the ball. But Kev, go watch those sacks. You know where his eyes are? Down the field the entire time. You know how many times we rip quarterbacks because their eyes are never down the field because they're always looking for a route to run out of bounds or they're always looking to end a play? I am defending him as far as that goes. I think that can be fixed. And to your point, I think it'll be fixed based on the play calling. And I think that the reason they went out and got Hooper, because they could have easily said, we got Njoku. We'll just make sure that we are running plays to set up Njoku. But no, they said, no. Hopefully we get to keep Njoku, which they have. But we're going to go get another tight end. We're going to go get a better tight end. And we're going to make sure that Baker has two of the top running backs in the league. And now one of the best tight ends in the league, and Njoku, who has the potential to be one of the best tight ends in the league. The Browns are set up. They addressed the offensive line. They gave him depth. Again, that's why I've said a million times. Baker fails this year. There's not a team out there that can help him. The Patriots couldn't help him. Bill Belichick couldn't help him. There's so much talent, and if you can't win, it's just like me ripping the Reds. If you can't win with talent, that's more embarrassing than losing without it. And that's what made last year so bad for the Browns. They lost with talent, and that's basically what it comes down to. Don goes back on Facebook. Settle down, Justin. I picked the Browns to win the division last year and the year before. You did. There's no with Tyrod Taylor. Don,
T-Mobile.
Don, you picked the Browns to win the division the year before with Tyrod Taylor. That doesn't make any sense. The year before, Baker's rookie season. He goes, I'm a Steelers fan. How about the hype of Baker Mayfield for 3 years? Well, okay, Don, let's be clear. The hype of Baker Mayfield. The hype of Baker Mayfield was well-deserved after his rookie season. He threw 27 touchdowns. He led the team to a 7-win win improvement from the season before. Threw 27 touchdowns. He had a fantastic rookie season. Got robbed of the Rookie of the Year. He should have been Rookie of the Year. That's how good. So when you say that, he's been hyped for going on 3 years now, he's played 2 seasons in the NFL. As good as he was his rookie year, he was that bad his second year. But of course, people take the bad year and they try to label him as bad the first year too. And they totally ignore what he did in the first year. The potential for Baker is more of what we saw in that first year than last year. He's going to prove it this year. Bengals fans, Steelers fans, you just hate to hear it. And you're going to hate,
gave the man props. What are you talking about?
You just nodded your head up and down. You look like them damn bobbleheads behind you.
I gave the man props.
What'd you say? He held the ball too long.
He does hold the ball too long.
No, but no. That's not even a bad, like what he did last year. Yes, it resulted in bad. But that was him efforting to improve the weaknesses that he had the year before. You don't acknowledge that. You don't acknowledge that quarterbacks who don't keep their eyes down the field looking to find their weapon. We rip quarterbacks who do that. Then when he does that, we rip him for that. Yes, get rid of the ball. Play calling is going to fix that. Play calling is going to fix that.
You better hope so.
I don't need to hope. I know.
You better hope so.
You better hope so.
Well, I ain't no fan of the Browns. You the one got to deal with it, not me.
No, you're going to have to deal with it this year.
Oh, Lord.
You're going to have to deal with it this year. So there you go. As far as that. Well, Chris, I like what Kev is doing right now. Chris, what is Kev doing right now?
So, Chris.
Being a Steelers fan. That's what he's doing right now. What is Kev doing right now?
Keeping it real, like the young boys say, man. Keeping it real.
Andy Lawrence, the Big Ten commissioner, says the Buckeyes could beat the Browns this year. Andy, nice try.
Uh-oh.
But you know what? The Buckeyes would have to actually be able to play the Browns to win this year. They have a better chance of beating Michigan. No.
I can't allow this type of...
They're not playing this year either. What's going on with the Big Ten? I heard they're trying to get in bed with the Pac-12. Turn the lights off. Beauty's a light switch away. That's all I got to say. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 77 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 51. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 81. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com. Hey, it's Justin Kinner from The Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro Painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I've had CertaPro Painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State-themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro Painters knows how to get the job done right, and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time, they get the job done right, and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro Painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Ready to take on that painting project? Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 35% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $25.02, August 27th through September 7th. With 35% off our exceptional paints and stains, you can give some color love to your bathroom, living room, or every room in your home. Shop in store or order online for curbside pickup. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Right now, savings count more than ever. So what if you could unlock extra savings on any project? With an extra 5% off all eligible purchases using the Lowe's Advantage card, you can. From an extra $6 off sanding that deck to saving another $75 on that new fridge. The extra savings make every project even better. Last year, cardholders saved over $300 million. Join them and start your next project with a Lowe's Advantage card. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $26.99. An incredible oil for an unbeatable price from the best car people around. Making this deal the best of the best of the best of the best of the best deals around. That's Mobil 1, only $26.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/20.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-Hour Energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips,
Are we there yet?
safety comes first. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tipped.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the iconic cleaning formula known around the globe. Try a Simple Green product today, and if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll refund your money. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green.
Sometimes our food is more than just food. It's an integral part of our community. So this year, Discover is giving $5 million to support Black-owned restaurants. To places like Post Office Pies in Birmingham, Alabama, Back in the Day Bakery in Savannah, Georgia, and hundreds more Black-owned restaurants in your local community, all across the country. Learn how you can show your support at discover.com.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on a Friday. And Don wants to ask you a question, Kev. He says, Nash, do you think that Big Ben losing so much weight with the injury that it might hurt more than help?
No, because he was really Big Ben during COVID. He was huge.
BBB, Big Bearded Ben.
Facts. He was huge. And obviously he's been doing a lot of cardio, eating a lot of salads, maybe cut out on the carbs. Looks good. Looks good for an old quarterback. I'm anxious to see what he looks like on the first week of the season.
Now, did he lose weight or did he just shave? Because shaving can do a lot for you.
No, he had like 3 chins, man. He was looking rough. Like, not just rough, like, oh, man, he looked grizzly bear, man. He was looking chunky.
Hey, don't hate.
I'm just saying,
don't hate.
man.
Don't hate. All right, that's all I got to say.
Monday night at New York, 7:15. Steelers. Can't wait. Saquon gets shut down next Monday.
No. Saquon going to get shut down. But by the way, the weight is not why Big Ben's going to struggle. Because your number one wide receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Number one receiver.
You decided you didn't need Antonio Brown. You also decided that you didn't need Le'Veon Bell.
Hey, man,
the Steeler way is we don't need talent. We'll see. We'll see how that works.
No, the Steeler way is they develop their own talent. They draft well and develop their own talent. I've been saying on this radio since
all them
May,
Super Bowls in the last 20 years.
Since May, Deontay Johnson was going to have a breakout season. Mark my words.
I said 20. I meant 10. But still.
Okay.
Doug Morgan said big chins.
The fact. My quarterback was fact.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer fact.
But he will be leading the Steelers to the third best record in the AFC North this year.
Okay.
So there's that.
We're going to see.
We don't need to see it. I'm just telling you it's going to happen. Like, you might as well not even watch the season.
Y'all lost to Duck Hodges last year.
Huh?
Y'all lost to Duck Hodges last year.
Okay. Because,
Duck.
The second
Hodges.
That obviously Myles Garrett swung his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And your annoying ass quarterback.
Shouts out to Mason.
And it hurt so bad. I mean, he got it right back. He was like, whoa. By the way, if it really hurt, you would have stayed down. You would have got up.
Adrenaline rush.
No, adrenaline rush. A helmet to the head by Myles Garrett. Trust me, there ain't enough adrenaline in the world for me to get back up.
He hits like Joey Votto.
He hits like especially.
I'm just joking,
if it's as of late. What do you say? Oh, yeah, because the Reds.
I like Joey Votto, man.
In fact, let's go get an update on that, by the way. The Reds are in action right meow. So let's take a look. What's going on with your Cincinnati Reds doubleheader tonight? Reds and Pirates. And remember what I said earlier? You should have started Moustakas tonight. These are the stupid changes I'm talking about. And where is he? Oh, Kyle Farmer. Oh, look at that. 0 for 1. All right. Come on, Farmer. You're so great against lefties. That's why you kept Moustakas out of the lineup tonight. Now the Reds are up 1-0 over the Pirates. So you do got that going for them. The Reds are 16-21 on the season. They're at Pittsburgh. They're 6 games out of the division, a few games out of the wild card. But for whatever reason, the Reds just seem like a lot further out than that, mainly because, hey, you don't got that much time left. You're under that 25-game total remaining on the season, and right now the Reds don't look like they're going to get to the point where they're going to be able to play in the postseason. Yes, the numbers show that there's still a chance. You're still a few games out, but the Reds have yet to prove that they can go on any kind of long winning streak. The longest win streak they've had on the season is 3. They've not been able to get anything going, and they need to figure it out. And I'm tired of saying they need to figure it out. I'm tired of saying that they're running out of time. Because it's like they don't have urgency. They don't play like a team that's trying to get into the playoffs. They play like a team that has a manager that after every game, I still have confidence in the guys in this dugout, in this clubhouse. I feel like they're about to turn it on any second. Yeah, probably they're going to score 12 runs in the last game of the season and miss the playoffs by a game and a half because David Bell didn't push the right urgency buttons as far as that's concerned. We're done with the Reds talk. Just hit that music.
I would like to say, man, if you're an American League fan, the AL East and AL Central logjam. There are 3 teams in each division, basically, with 23 wins. Whoever wins these divisions in the AL, it doesn't mean anything because you're only going to be 1 game or 2 games better than the second place team in your division, man. I love it. It's exactly what you said when the season was starting, that it was going to be nail-biting all the way to the end. Unfortunately, the Reds don't look like they want to play in the postseason right now.
No, you talked about the American League, Kev. Let's look at the AL East right now. Again, the AL East, that's probably the least intriguing right now. I mean, the Yankees are 5 games back. The Blue Jays are 5 games back. The Orioles are 9, and the Red Sox 14. And if the Yankees were healthy, it was projected to, be right there neck and neck with the Rays. But hey, give the Blue Jays some credit. We were looking at the Yankees in Tampa the whole time, and right now, because of injuries, and the Yankees cannot stay healthy. But again, with all the injuries, they're 20-16. Right. The Reds have not been that banged up this season. They have no excuse to be 16-21. The Yankees are 20-16, and they're facing better teams. I opened up the show, Kevin. You were out. I said, look, out of all the reasons I've given why it's embarrassing that the Reds have underachieved. Shortened season, 3 of the top pitchers in baseball. They spent all that money to, provide some pop in the lineup, but then you have guys who aren't showing up prepared to play. The bullpen's been a disaster, even though it has been improved as of late. The other thing was, too, that we keep forgetting about, the Cincinnati Reds had the easiest strength of schedule in 2020. So you add that on top of everything. The Yankees have missed a third or fourth of their lineup all season because of injuries. Their best guys. And they're still 20-16. And they play the Rays. They play good teams. Mm-hmm. And there's the Reds, who have these stretches where you'll play the Pirates for 4. You'll play the Royals for 4. The Brewers, who aren't that strong, you're playing them for long stretches. And you have 16 wins on the season? That's embarrassing. You had the easiest strength of schedule of anyone in Major League Baseball, and you've been able to sputter 16 freaking wins. And then there's the Cleveland Indians. They haven't had their manager the entire season, pretty much. They've had all this, internal discord again. You move on from Clevenger. It's the, second or third straight season where they've moved on from one of their best pitchers. Kluber, we've seen the Indians move on from Trevor Bauer. Of course, that benefited the Reds, but they're still screwing that up. And then, of course, now Clevenger gone. And yet the Indians, in what was supposed to be almost the start to the rebuild, everyone felt that they were holding on to Francisco Lindor and a lot of these pieces. They're like, they'll probably hold on to him to the trade deadline, and when they're out of it, that's when they'll move on. They're 23-14. They are in first place in the AL Central. Now, to your point, they have a half-game lead over the White Sox. The Minnesota Twins are within a game. They're 23-16. And the Tigers at 17-18 are 5 games back, and the Royals down at the bottom. So, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. Now, look at the AL West. The Houston Astros. By the way, the Houston Astros, they've been dealing with injuries. They had all these stuff in the offseason that was a complete mess. I mean, new GM. They had to bring in a new manager, a good manager, Dusty Baker. Had the Reds still had him, they'd probably be in the playoff picture this year. But the Oakland Athletics, 22-12 on the season, have a 2-game lead over the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros, with all the injuries, their offense is not producing like it used to. Of course, no banging trash cans. That's probably one reason. But also, there's so much pressure on the Astros. Every batter is stepping into the box. For one, stressed out from everything that happened this past offseason, but also stressed out because at any moment, a 100-mile-per-hour fastball can go off their noggin at any freaking point. And they are still 21-15, 2 games out of the AL West title right there. And again, the 2 best teams from each division make it. The Astros are in the playoffs right now. All right. And it's going to be the Athletics and Astros. And the and you lost Garrett Cole. You lost your best pitcher from a season ago. So all of these teams have excuses to not be good, and there they are good. And then you go to the National League, and the Atlanta Braves, again, doing what they were supposed to, 22-14, a 2.5-game lead over the Phillies. Now, the Phillies are another embarrassment. The Phillies are another team that have spent so much money the last couple seasons, and yet here they are. They are in that second playoff spot in the NL East, but they're 18-15. All right, they have won 9 of their last 10. But again, this is a situation where how are you not winning that division when you have spent all this money in the last couple of seasons? You have the pitching, you have the hitting, and yet you still have to hurt. Your neck's probably still hurting from having to look up at what the Braves are doing. The Marlins had no expectations coming in. Actually, the expectations were bad. They were supposed to be bad, Kev. They're 16-16. They have the same amount of wins as the Reds. What is going on? All right. The NL Central, again, 22-15. The Cubs, the Cardinals coming in at 14-14. They took a 2-week vacation. They took a 2-week, the COVID Cardinals, as I call them, the COVID Cardinals, 14-14, and they're in second place. And they just throttled the Reds. I mean, for one, they have a plus 19 run differential. This is a team that's not that good offensively. They're plus 19 run differential. Keep in mind, they beat the Reds 16-2 the other night. All right. So that's plus 14 right there. Before that game, Kevin, they were only plus 4 on their opponents. So they look better offensively than they actually are because of the Reds. The plus 19 run differential, 12 of those came in one game against the GD Reds. Like, that's insane to me. That's the Reds are a damn embarrassment. And then the Reds at 16-21, they're 4th in the division. 16-21. The Brewers are 17-19. The Reds are 4th in the division, 6 games out. No excuse. The Dodgers, you take a look at the NL West, 29-10. That's their division. The Padres at 23-16. They're 23-16, but they have a whole new ball club right now. They are a whole new ball club right now. They went out and got Clevenger, of course. They added some bullpen help. They added some, power in that lineup. The Padres, they're here to play. They're like, hey, we did our part to get into the playoffs. They have a 4-game lead over the Rockies in the NL West. They're pretty much in the playoffs. The Padres are. So the Padres said, you know what? We're not really trying to win the division. Again, they would love to win the division, but they're 6 games back. And I think what they've accepted is, okay, the expanded playoffs, all we got to do is get in. Because you know what we learned in the NBA playoffs?
Yep.
There is no home court. There is no home field. They're going to be playing in bubbles. The Major League Baseball playoffs are going to have host sites. So there is no such thing as home field advantage as far as the Major League Baseball playoffs is concerned. So if you're the Padres, you're not trying to play for the 1 seed or this or that. And as you talked about, the matchups, they don't really matter. Because the Padres are going to be so damn good by the time you get to the playoffs that you're going to talk about the Dodgers as the division champions, but you're going to look at the Padres any less. Why? They may not be division champs, but you're right. Their talent, they're just as good as the Dodgers. They improved more than any team at the deadline. And we didn't even mean to talk some baseball there, but again, got off the beaten path right there. And there we are taking a look at the Reds as we currently sit there as far as that's concerned. Now, Ron says, looks like a evaluation lineup. I think they threw in the towel. No way they can make up the division. Are you talking about the Reds, Ron? I'm assuming. But Ron, let me know, what you think about that. But the Reds right now, very frustrating as far as that's concerned. And right now, a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Let me check one more time. Yeah, 1-0 lead over the Pirates. And again, the Pirates have runners on first and second right now with 1 out. We usually carry every Reds game. We're not today. We do have high school football tonight. When we come back, we'll talk a little NFL on the other side again. We got some Dabo Swinney stuff at the top of the hour. Dabo Swinney had some interesting comments about the Big Ten. Big Ten fans, they hate Dabo Swinney. Buckeye fans, you definitely hate Dabo Swinney. And if you didn't, you're about to hate him even more. We're going to get into that. Springfield at Centerville. That's our ESPN Dayton High School football game of the week tonight, 7 o'clock the kickoff. Elks, Wildcats. Keith Byers and I will be there for the call tonight. Again, 7 o'clock kickoff for our ESPN Dayton High School football game of the week, presented by Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Hey, you want a reason to hate Dabo Swinney? There's a lot of reasons. 2 in particular from the last 10 years, but I'm going to give you a third. What? OH310? No. You dribble and you shoot. You hope for the best. We'll be back in a moment. Dabo Swinney had some interesting comments about the Big Ten and the Pac-12. Buckeye fans, you ain't going to like it. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
I'm thinking of you. What kinder words could be more meaningful at a time like this? At First Florist and Greenhouses, we know everyone is coping the best they can. And when hugs are not possible, a kind word or gesture can bring comfort and a smile. So today, make that phone call or send a heartfelt note to someone you care about. And if you'd like to send a fresh bouquet of flowers, we can help with that. We're First Florist and Greenhouses at 1306 Troy Street in Dayton, a local family-owned business since 1905. And we're thinking of you.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
PB Auctions is back in Zanesville at the fairgrounds with the big building material and home improvement auction, and it's all online. Don't miss your chance to buy kitchens, flooring, doors, trim, siding, plumbing, and tools. Over 1,000 lots, all to be sold online in the auction at pbauctions.com. Bidding is now open and the auction ends Thursday at 12 p.m. Go to pbauctions.com for registration and preview times, and we'll see you online at the auction this Thursday in Zanesville, Ohio.
In uncertain times, you can be certain of this. The Salvation Army is serving those most in need with help and hope. Thanks to your donations, the Salvation Army is helping those affected by COVID-19, those who've lost wages, who have no home to retreat to, who need food, help with utilities, and most of all, hope. To see how you can continue to make a difference, visit GiveWestwood.org. GiveWestwood.org.
Endless loads of laundry? Lowe's has just what you need to bring reliability to your laundry room. A Maytag front-load laundry pair in an exclusive metallic slate finish. It features the most powerful cleaning in the industry, driven by a heavy-duty cycle with extra power button. Shop Labor Day deals on Lowe's.com today and get up to 35% off select appliances like this Maytag laundry pair and more. Bring on style this Labor Day with Lowe's. Offer valid through 9/16, U.S. only.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post.
That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan or Kentucky or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building at the Ford Motor Company the same way we have for over a century, in the same place, for the same reason. Built for America.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-hour energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips,
are we there yet?
Safety comes first. 5-hour energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
Now at Menards, save big money in your next project with 11% off everything. Enjoy autumn breezes with a new Larson Storm Door with styles that will match any home and features like a screen-away retractable screen that hides away when not in use. All Larson Storm Doors are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through September 5th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
There's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
The Reds are on the radio. Cincinnati Reds baseball is finally here. There are only 60 games this season, so don't miss a second of the action.
Winker hammers one to deep right field, and that is a no-doubter.
Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they continue their purge, Kevin. They have moved on in the last year from Calais Campbell, one of the top defensive ends in football. Calais Campbell. They've moved on from recently Ngakoue, one of the other top defensive pass rushers in all of football. They moved on from Jalen Ramsey. Mm-hmm. They just released outright Leonard Fournette, and they traded away recently Ronnie Harrison to the Cleveland Browns. Ronnie Harrison was drafted back in 2016, one of the top defensive backs from Alabama. And again, throughout his stretch, again, only about 3 years in the league, he has 3 interceptions. He has a couple fumble recoveries and over 100-plus tackles.
Enforcer.
And that's a good get for the Browns. Again, the Browns are without Delpit. Delpit, they drafted out of LSU. They had high expectations for him. Many people, you watch a lot of those NFL network shows, those after the draft, they said the Browns, that was a steal. You know, the Bengals had their, T. Higgins, a steal in the draft for them too. The Browns had a couple. They had, Peoples-Jones, and of course they were able, on the offensive side and being able to get Delpit. Well, Delpit, of course, season-ending injury, the Browns needed to address their secondary. They were making me a little nervous because they didn't react right away to moving on. But again, this is around that time where a lot of teams move on from a lot of their veteran stars, for roster, for financial purposes as far as roster makeup is concerned. And the Browns took advantage of that. They were able to go ahead and get a deal done as a 2021 fifth-round draft pick. I think he only has 1 year remaining on this deal. I don't know how to feel. I mean, again, it's a good get for the Browns. You're not going to keep him after this season because you're going to have Delpit come back. So it's interesting nonetheless. But the Reds, why do I keep saying that? The Browns, I'm sorry, get my colors mixed up. The Browns address their secondary needs. I still think they're very weak at linebacker, Kev. I'm not sold at the Browns as far as linebackers concerned. And it does bother me. They have clearly pinpointed a weakness in that Browns defense, because they have been so adamant about trying to get another pass rusher to put with, of course, Myles Garrett. Like, I didn't even think that was one of their needs, but it does concern me that the Browns have been so relentless as trying to find another pass rusher to put alongside Myles Garrett. Yes, it elevates the team, but I think their needs linebacker, and yet they have been trying so hard to find another elite pass rusher. They tried, with Jadeveon Clowney, who we'll get to in a moment. Jadeveon Clowney turned them down. They tried to get Ngakoue. Speaking of the Jaguars and Ngakoue, that was another one that they pursued. And you know what I mean? Like, so it does bother me that they have actually pinpointed a big weakness with them. They don't have another big pass rusher there. It amazed me that they were so aggressive. Jadeveon Clowney, they offered $17 million. All right. The Titans offered him about 12 to 13 million, and he has narrowed it down between the Saints and the Titans. The Saints had sent some coaches out earlier today to try to get in his ear one more time, but he has been instructed, Jadeveon Clowney has been instructed to wait it out a little bit. You just saw the Redskins, by the way, who released Adrian Peterson outright. A lot of that is done for roster makeup too. Keep in mind, it's not just about being financially invested into a player. It's about contractually being invested into a player. Yes, you may need Adrian Peterson if you're the Redskins, or if you're Washington, if you're Washington, you may, need Adrian Peterson, but you don't need Adrian Peterson. You talked about the rookie that they drafted.
Yeah.
You have, you got to invest into them, not financially, but time-wise too. The timeline is saying you got to get rid of a lot of these veteran guys. The Jaguars, of course, they've just been, on a purge. They're the 2020 version of the Dolphins.
Yeah.
The Dolphins did this a year ago. They let go of anyone and everyone that they could, and they were still fairly competitive. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be that competitive. It also makes you really scratch your head and say, how were the Jaguars this bad over the last couple of years? They were a 13-win team, 2 years ago? They knocked the Steelers out of the playoffs that year. Yep. That was the year that they almost made it to the Super Bowl. They had a lead over the Patriots in the fourth quarter. They had a good team. Of course, people started ripping them because that was the year they took Leonard Fournette, and they passed, by taking Leonard Fournette and sticking, of course, by taking Leonard Fournette, they had opted over, picked him over guys like, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, who's pretty good, losing Deshaun Watson. A lot of guys passed up on those guys, but a lot of people are looking at the Jaguars saying, man, you squandered an opportunity right there. They are a prime example of, like the Browns and everyone, you are not, when you're rebuilding, you're not promised a magical run.
Right.
You are giving yourself an opportunity. The Jaguars it makes me think about the Browns, because just because the Browns have made all these moves, it doesn't mean that you're going to be good. The Jaguars are a prime example. I mean, you're moving on, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey, you had Ngakoue, you had Leonard Fournette, Ronnie Harrison, and you have really nothing to show for it. You
Paul Puzzle-Ugly retired. Yeah. Telvin Smith retired. When you look at a team like that, that's built around defense, it reminds me of like the Jets team that made it to the AFC Championship, built around the running game, ground and pound type of style. And then
Sanchez, and then of course that's where Revis Island and all that,
Yep. And that following year, they fell off the map. Not only offense, they couldn't do anything, but the defense took a slight step back. And that was the same thing that happened to Jacksonville. The defense wasn't horrible. They just weren't great like they were the year before. And you're 100% correct about riding that hot hand, rolling the dice. Like when you make it to the playoffs and you manhandle the Steelers with a power run game the way they did, and made it to the AFC Championship, leading the Pats on the road in the fourth quarter by double digits, and you just want to just run into the line of scrimmage 3 times with Fournette in a 9-man box. They're begging you to throw it. You got to go for it. You got to give yourself a chance, because you got to understand the moment, and you got to understand like the likelihood of your defense playing like the 85 Bears back-to-back seasons is highly unlikely. And the chances to make it to a Super Bowl, they aren't guaranteed. Like when you have a chance, you got to go for it. When you got a chance to make it to the big dance, you got to roll the dice, man. And when you're in the big game, you got to roll the dice. I mean, we saw with Philadelphia, they called a trick pass at the goal line to the quarterback, and they won the Super Bowl. You know, like we all know that Nick Foles ain't going to the Hall of Fame, but you know what he did? He outplayed the GOAT that night, and that's all that matters. So when you got an opportunity, be it in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, you got to go for it. When the opportunity is there, you have to capitalize. And, you know, you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're basically like used parts, like on a car. Like, all right, you want to sell the engine? Boom. You want to sell the hubcaps? You want to sell the radio? You want to sell the windows?
Tires are new. You know,
everything's for sale on this vehicle. Everything. They go strip it down. Like, so if they got good players all over the place, obviously they're up for sale. Go get some.
Yeah, and so, you know, bringing up Jacksonville like that, it's just one of those things where, again, that's the team. I was shocked again. I was very aware of all the talent they've lost but you hear it in spurts. Like, for instance, as good as your Indians are, how did they not win a World Series when you had Bauer, Kluber, and Clevenger? And the Indians still have a bunch of talent remaining, and it's not even the big three. It was probably, when you look back, you say, man, that was like the best damn rotation in baseball, and we couldn't win with it. And we know how important pitching is. I mean, look at the Nationals last year. But it's funny. Sometimes I don't think you realize how talented certain teams are until you look back at a later time. The Jaguars are going to be one of those teams. But again, not trying to get back into this outlier conversation, but it does come back to me to elite quarterback play. And that's a situation where you don't see a lot of like the Jaguars did the outlier approach, in my opinion, where they're like, hey, we don't have the best quarterback in the National Football League. But man, if you look at Eli Manning, if you look at Nick Foles, and you look at the Ravens on multiple occasions, you don't need an elite quarterback. You just need an elite defense. The problem is you have to have a lot of things fall your way the right way. Yeah. You can't create your own. That's the problem. When you don't have an elite quarterback, sometimes you don't have the option to create your own luck, as weird as that sounds. They couldn't do anything. Like, you had to rely on the defense to stop the other team, but when you're in a lot of close games when you don't have an explosive offense.
They didn't try to do anything. They didn't even try.
As far as what?
That game versus the Patriots in the fourth quarter, they didn't try anything.
But again, not having confidence in your quarterback and your offense again. But Leonard Fournette's what got you there,
right?
So that's why. And that was.
But now with 9 people in the box, though.
But they didn't have any other options offensively.
You got to do something. You can't just run into the line with 9 people there. You roll out.
But that's what got him there. Their offense was not good.
They weren't putting 9 in the Steelers weren't putting 9 in the box. That's why they got gashed.
But that's what I'm saying. But they didn't have many passing weapons. They actually weren't even a top 10 passing team that year.
I wonder why.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Like, you could put great defenses with everyone. And that's why I was trying to argue with you that day when you're talking about Nick Foles and others. I'm like, well, that's fantastic. That's super. That's great. But no one is saying, well, you know what? We're going to go that approach. We're going to try and build it that way. The Jaguars may have done that, and it backfires. So just because you have talent, it doesn't always guarantee that you're going to be rewarded for it. And the Jaguars, so everyone's like, well, how are the Jaguars going to hit the reset button? You got to understand, like on the Sixers in the NBA, they're another example. People think that the rebuilding process always ends in a World Series or an NBA championship or a Super Bowl. Right. It doesn't. Sometimes you fail the rebuild. The Reds failed their rebuild, which is why they panicked and went out and spent money, which I have no problem with. They spent money on Moustakas and Castellanos and, Bauer they traded for, and they're hoping to keep up. Sonny Gray, they do the sign and trade. They failed in the rebuild as far as developing the pieces and the assets they got in the system. Okay, they failed there. The Sixers failed their rebuild. Now, again, if Embiid and Simmons ends up winning a championship at some point, you can question whether they failed the rebuild or not. But as of right now, it looks like a failure, right? Like, that's kind of where we're at with that. The Jaguars, they failed their rebuild. It didn't end up, being as good as what we thought they were going to be. So that's what I'm saying is, when you're the Browns, when you're the Bengals, and we're always talking about all the talent that the teams are getting, you're not promised anything. The talent gives you the opportunity, but will you capitalize on it? The Jaguars never capitalized on it. They came close. They just didn't have anything to show for it, as far as that's concerned. Hour 2 in the books. All right, hour 3 coming up. I talked about, of course, the Dabo Swinney comments from a little bit ago. We're going to get into that. The Big Ten, I feel like, and Bobby Carpenter tweeted this out a little bit ago, I don't know what's going on with the Big Ten and the vote. All right, there's supposed to be a vote today, right? Well, now all of a sudden it's like the Big Ten is dragging their feet. I feel like the Big Ten, Kevin Warren's going to get his way. Bobby Carpenter tweeted out that he feels like the Big Ten, and I'm sorry, you're trying to cue me out of here. Real quick. Bobby Carpenter tweeted this out that he believes that Kevin Warren and the Big Ten are dragging their feet on the vote to the point where you run out of time because you're up against the clock. October 10th is when they want to be able to kick off. Well, guess what, folks? It's September 4th. We're heading into the weekend. We're going to be coming back. The 10th, is our September 10th is already next Thursday. It's a week away, and they haven't even had a vote yet. You have to have a little more than a month to prepare and practice and all that. And don't give me the whole, oh, no, they know what they're doing. Their football play. It doesn't work that way. The SEC has had 2 months to prepare. The ACC had a month and a half to prepare. You know what I mean? In the Big Ten, you're going to tell them they have 3 weeks? I don't think it's going to work that way. So October 10th is what they're targeting. The vote, they're supposed to vote today. You're hearing more rumors about teams who are just opting out and not wanting to play and not be a part of the vote. What is going on with that? Well, while they're trying to figure their stuff out, the rest of the college football is saying, well, should we wait and maybe let them catch up and play with us? Dabo Swinney said, hell no. We'll discuss next. And I agree with him, by the way.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
They can bulge, go bald, wear down, flatten, or be in dire need of replacing.
No, guys, it's not you.
We're talking about your tires. Let Fat Boys get your car rolling again, safe and sound. Fat Boys carries tires in all makes, styles, and sizes, including Continental, Goodyear, Michelin, and more. Check out Fat Boys' new location in North Dayton at the corner of Needmore and I-75 or 3050 Springboro Pike in South Dayton. Fat Boys, your ultimate resource for wheels, tire, service, and accessories. Look for Fat Boys at fatboysdayton.com.
Fall is just around the corner. So are Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. Like $5 off 1-gallon cans and $20 off 5-gallon buckets instantly on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains. Instant savings on appliances. Everything from mulch to power tools. With savings like these, what'll you do next? Tackle more fall projects with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 9th. See store for details.
With thousands of locally owned Napa stores across the nation, chances are that wherever you call home, we do too. And that's why you can find us in big cities, small towns, and everywhere in between, doing what we've always done to help keep our local communities moving forward. So whether you stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, Auto Care Center, or visit us at Napa online, you can count on Napa know-how.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brent Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
The biggest local and national guests sit down for the biggest interviews with Justin Kinner on 1410 Wing Live. Presented by Arrowhead Tax Service. Follow along live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page and catch all previous episodes at wingam.com. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car. Tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, and we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, Hour 3 here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Gordon on Facebook says they are dragging, again, in response to the Big Ten. I truly believe that the Big Ten right now, I mean, this is very simple. The Big Ten said it was medical reasons and concerns as to why they didn't want to play this fall, but yet every single other conference is ready and roaring to go. You have the Pac-12 who comes out all of a sudden and has this super-duper secret magical test that all of a sudden is going to get you instant results, and boom, those sound all like reasons why you should be getting your ass back out on the field and ready to go. And the Big Ten has no answers right now. I've been very lenient. I've been very kind of like in the middle on this, like, because I'm trying to be like fair to both sides. Like, I understand that the Big Ten is being cautious, but to say that they're being cautious, that's why they didn't play, that's like saying that the other conferences aren't being cautious. I don't think that's true at all. I think that right now, this world during this pandemic has proven that, yes, while the risk of the virus is out there, that this world, a lot of businesses, we in our jobs, I mean, we're sitting in this building right now with adaptation, basically with the risks of catching the virus, and we're doing what we can to kind of, minimize that risk. But the bottom line is every aspect of life right now is about accepting the fact that there is a risk of catching the virus, but what are you doing to try to prevent it as much as possible? The ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, hell, the American Conference. I mean, Appalachian State and others are all playing football right now. Do you think that they don't care about the risk of the virus? I don't think that's fair at all. Those teams know the risk. Those players know the risk. Those universities, school presidents, student body, coaches, everybody knows the risk at hand of playing during a pandemic. So although I respect the Big Ten's approach to being concerned, to shape it that way would be to shape it that the other conferences are not concerned. They're concerned, but they have done. I mean, I read an article on ESPN today about all the things that have been done to be able, to make football safer as far as that. I mean, hell, Keith Byers and I last week, we noticed in high school football of all things, the fact that, hey, the officials never touch the game ball. The only people that touch the ball, obviously the quarterback, the running back, if a receiver, if they catch, only the players are touching the ball. The officials, so you're not having a bunch of extra people touching the ball that don't need to. All right. So like those are the things you start noticing during a game. I read the college football article today on ESPN that talked about the electronic whistle. There's an electronic whistle now, which I don't really know what the hell that has anything to do with. If it's your whistle, it's your whistle. But again, they're doing everything they can to try to come out with preventative measures to do this. So I don't want to hear from the Big Ten that they're concerned. Of course you're concerned. What are you doing about the concerns? Oh, well, there's risks. What are you doing to combat the risks? All right. I mean, what's the SEC doing? What's the ACC doing? What's the Big 12 doing? What's the American Conference doing? Well, that's why I am no longer being pro Big Ten on this, because I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that, hey, the Big Ten, they were ahead of the curve on announcing conference only. No one gave them any pushback there. Everyone said, you know what? That's very smart. Good job, Kevin Warren. You're being a great leader. Kevin Warren comes out and says, you know what? A lot of medical findings have backed and supported our stance on we don't want to play. At first, I was like, you know what? As much as I hate that, it pains me. We are a Buckeye affiliate. I want there to be Ohio State football. I can respect that. This is a guy that's in charge of making a decision for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands of student athletes. I can respect that. But then as more and more findings are coming out, not saying that the virus doesn't exist, not saying that there are not potential risks, long-term risks involved, not saying any of those things. However, again, it is possible in our world during a pandemic to be able to combat the virus, to be able to have preventative measures in place. So for the Big Ten to continue to ride the train of, there's no way we can prevent this. No one's asking you to prevent it. You can't prevent it. No one can prevent the virus, but you could put in place as many preventable measures as possible, just like the SEC is doing, just like the ACC is doing, just like the Big 12. Hell, by the way, tune into our high school football game of the week tonight as Centerville, again, hosting Springfield. Look at all the preventative measures that Centerville and Rob DeMett, the athletic director, and his fine team do. Preventative measures. That's what you do. High school football is kicking off, has already kicked off. We're calling high school football games. We have to do this little assessment test on our phone. We have to check our temperature. We, as just random little high school broadcasters in Dayton, Ohio, we are doing all of these measures to be safe at these high school football games. Guess what? Ohio State, Kevin Warren, put your big girl panties on and let's go. And let's go. You're dragging your feet now. So whether you like the president or not, whether you like the Donald or not, the Donald stepped up and provided testing. The Big Ten was worried about testing and the financial burden that could be put on some athletic departments. I don't want to hear from Buckeye fans to say, well, Ohio State, they have all this money. They could easily. Yes, Ohio State's going to be fine. They could afford their testing. But what about the smaller schools? That's where Kevin Warren's trying to ride that too. I don't agree with that either. But the Donald, all right, whether you like the Donald or not, President Trump stepped up. He provided the testing. So now what's your excuse, Kevin Warren? Now what? What are we waiting on? The vote? Because I was all for the vote too, because I was like, well, it's really not up to Kevin Warren, because if those schools, if you can't change those presidents' mind, then you know what? It doesn't matter anyways. It's up to the presidents. Why are we making it that difficult, though? Why can't we do an opt-in, opt-out? Northwestern, you don't want to play? That's fine. We're not going to hold it against you. That's fine. That's your decision. Ohio State, you want to play? Cool. Michigan, you want to play? Cool. Penn State, we good? Iowa, let's go. Nebraska, you've been loud and annoying as hell. We know you want to play. Let's go. We're going to play with 6 teams? We'll play with 6 teams. We're going to play with 8 teams? We'll play with 8 teams. Why are we making this more difficult than it has to be? I was all for being cautious at the beginning, and who's to say that playing is not being cautious? You could be cautious and still play. But now we're at the point to where I truly believe that a vote was supposed to come out today. Many rumors had circulated all week that a Big Ten vote was supposed to happen today. Maybe it has, but we all know what happened the last time the Big Ten had a vote. We didn't find out about it for a month. Well, you know what's funny? About a month from now, it's going to be October 4th. You know when the Big Ten wants to kick off, or at least a lot of people wanted to kick off, including coaches internally of the conference, October 10th. You know what you can't do? You can't announce on October 4th that you approved to play, and then, oh yeah, we're going to kick off 6 days later. Yeah, that's not happening. So the Big Ten's dragging their feet. Gordon on Facebook says they are dragging their feet so players don't transfer. Ohio State should look at different options for a new conference. Maybe Ohio State and Notre Dame join the ACC permanently. Gordon, I like that mindset. However, that's never going to happen. The Big Ten, by the way, Ohio State is contractually tied to the Big Ten into the 30s, into the 2030s. So, they're not going anywhere, Kev. They have a contract with the Big Ten. Well, they can get out of it. Financially, why do you want to go down that hole? You're taken care of very well financially in that conference. So the only way I would support Ohio State stepping outside of the Big Ten is if they wanted to try to pull what Notre Dame does, and that's become an independent. I think Ohio State's brand is bigger. They've been more successful. They have actually won championships in the last decade. Let's just put it that way if we're going to shrink it down to that. Ohio State would be the independent. They would be the top independent. We're talking about Notre Dame being that. It would be the Ohio State University as far as that's concerned. Ohio State's not going to get out of the Big Ten for that. Notre Dame will not be in the ACC after 2020 to begin with, as far as that's concerned. So, Kevin, the next part of this is there's talk out there that if Ohio State, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 can kick off on October 10th, should the SEC and the ACC and others decide to maybe kind of hold off a little bit, maybe delay their season for 1 or 2 more weeks so that all the Power Fives can kick off at one time, and then you don't kind of, basically kind of ruin or taint the integrity of the college football playoff. And my thing is, it's all a mess anyways. But again, when you're watching all the teams play at the same time, it adds more credibility to the college football playoff. Dabo Swinney was asked about it. And as I said earlier, he said, hell no. Absolutely not. Here's Paul Feinbaum earlier today on ESPN's Get Up about whether the teams should hold up.
Nobody is going to stop and wait for 2 leagues that prematurely announce that they're not playing. So I'm really glad, and I think everyone's glad to see the Big Ten and the Pac-12 start moving forward to a restart, but it's too late for them. Nobody is going to wait not one day.
All right, that was Paul Feinbaum, and you know what? As an Ohio State fan, I think in a perfect world, yes, it would be nice if the Pac-12, if the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC said, you know what? Let's go. We'll wait for you. We'll hold up. We'll be like those annoying golfers I was telling you about who take their time in front of you. They should not. They've been committed to a plan from the very beginning. It's not the SEC or ACC's fault that the Big Ten has absolutely fumbled this for quite some time now. I do not think they should wait. I think that they are in the right not to. Dabo Swinney was asked about it, Kev. Dabo Swinney says, we're ready to roll. That would not be something I would be in favor for. It would be hard to start in November and then push the season into February. It would be awesome to have some of the traditional postseason opportunities that the Pac-12 and Big Ten have enjoyed over the years, but we're not worried about that. And you shouldn't be.
Right.
That the Pac-12 and Big Ten, you owe them nothing. You owe them nothing. I am pro Dabo Swinney as far as that's concerned. I wish they would wait, but there is zero obligation for them to. I don't even think there's a moral obligation to. You don't benefit, or you don't reward stupid behavior.
You're not going to go anywhere with the Power 5 conferences as a whole. If this is showing you anything, they can't get along. They can't come to a common ground about the season starting. They can't come to a common ground about testing. They can't come to a common ground about anything. So it's been made very clear that it's every man for themselves and every conference for themselves. And some conferences are playing, some conferences aren't playing. You and I disagree about the Big Ten. We can get into that later. But the biggest thing I look at this is they're playing and we're not. And we can go around the bush about why they're playing, why they're not playing. And it just all comes down to next Saturday when we get the kickoff for the ACC, we're not going to get any Buckeye football. We're not going to get any Michigan football. We're not going to hate watch this team. We're not going to just Tuesday night action. We're dealing with a whole new reality. And no, because they shouldn't be waiting on us to start their season because it's already been made clear to them that we weren't playing. So they've moved forward. You know, it's like a relationship. Once it's over, it's over. Like, all right, you moved on. Moving on. They're moving on without us. And that's just the way we have to deal with it. And, you know, all this talk about another vote, like how many votes are we going to do? Like, that's my thing. Like, the vote came out.
This isn't Florida. You don't get all these opportunities to vote, man.
Hanging
like,
chads.
You get one time, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand the purpose of another vote.
Maybe they were mailing in their votes, and maybe they were mailing in multiple votes. Maybe there was some fraud.
They voted too early.
Yeah, and maybe some people were going to mail their vote in, and they just couldn't find any place to place. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. Rumor is that's the case. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't understand the.
Because I'm proud to be an American.
I don't understand the necessity of another vote. Are we just going to keep voting until we have football, until they finally just say, all right, we're going to have football? Because like you said, it's September already. It's September, 4th? We're supposed to be starting the college football. Actually, college football starts tomorrow. We're going to get some games. And then we get BYU. I don't forget who they actually play on Labor Day Monday. But then in that following week, we get a ton of games. So there's no way that the Big Ten is going to vote, say they vote today, and then they're going to be back at practice starting on Monday, gearing up for a season to start on the 10th. I think you put yourself at a huge disadvantage like that. But people don't care. People want their football. So it is what it is, man.
All right, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Listen, stream, and watch. Listen at 1410 Wing AM. Stream us at wingam.com. And for those of you who have Facebook and YouTube, search The Justin Kinner Show. And again, tune in live. You can watch the show. Listen, stream, and watch. We are live on Facebook right now, The Justin Kinner Show. So search The Justin Kinner Show. We want to hear from you Buckeye fans right now. Do you believe that the Big Ten is going to operate in good faith here? Will there be a vote? Will there be a legit vote? And again, if we head into the weekend and don't hear anything, like if there's not some announcement here in the coming hours or even over the weekend, like if we come back on Tuesday and haven't heard anything, Kevin,
Friday news dump,
then usually you don't announce good news there. But then again, the Big Ten has been announcing stuff on weekends. I mean, there's like the OHSA putting out press releases on Sunday. Who the hell does that? But the bottom line is I want to hear from, and not just Buckeye fans, but Big Ten fans in general. Will we have, it's a very generic, very hard-hitting question. I mean, Justin's bringing the good stuff today. Will there be a Big Ten season? Yes. Will there be a Big Ten season? I believe if we and you come back, because again, 3-day weekend coming up, if we're sitting here at this same time on Tuesday and don't have an answer, that's our answer. No. Like there'll be a Big Ten season come maybe January, February, whatever. But that's stupid. You see the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are talking about getting in bed together, where they'll work together. They'll just say, fine, they want to do their own season, we'll do our own season, and the Big Ten champion then will play the Pac-12 champion in a Rose Bowl, which is what you normally get anyways, unless, of course, the Big Ten champion or the Pac-12 is in the playoff. Pac-12 is never in the playoff. So, again, there's that. It's going to be that. I'm not in favor of that either, because if that's what you're wanting, as opposed to wanting to find a way to play in the fall, I think that's wrong. So that's why. And like the Big Ten, you're hypocrites. You're going to sit there and use all these health reasons. Those health reasons are going to exist in January, February, March. I don't care if the vaccine comes tomorrow. Those health things, that's going to exist in January, February, March, being so closely removed from this virus. So I don't want to hear that. So again, I think it's hypocritical to even kick off in January, February, because I really don't believe that all of a sudden the world becomes safer just because that's what I keep hearing. 2020, well, I'm done with 2020. I can't wait for 2021. You think this virus has an expiration date? It don't work that way.
Right.
It don't work that way. We might hear about the vote by January 1st. Who knows? But yeah, I think they went to go vote to mail in their vote, and they just, you can't send in more than one. Doesn't work that way. That's the concern. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 77 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 51. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a high of 81. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Sports injury, low back pain, or are you interested in improving your performance and getting to the next level? Orion Sports Medicine is truly a unique sports medicine and physical therapy clinic and training facility. We offer a highly educated staff that has experience working with athletes from the recreational and youth levels to elite professionals. We offer services that include PT, functional assessment, wellness, fitness, return to sport, sports performance, strength and conditioning, speed and agility training, all at our state-of-the-art facility in Miamisburg. For more information on Orion Sports Medicine, visit orionsportsmedicine.com.
Here's a question for you. Which Miami Valley golf course was voted the #1 golf course in the Dayton area? It's Turtle Creek Golf Course. Another question. Which golf course was rated the #4 best public golf course in the state of Ohio? That's right, Turtle Creek. And which course was rated the 18th best in the USA with green fees under $50? Right again, it's Turtle Creek. Here's my last question. When are you going to get your pals together to come out to Turtle Creek Golf Course and play? We're an easy drive to Greenville. See you soon at Turtle Creek. Hot rods, muscle cars, classic cars, and imports. You've got to see Cars and Parts Giant Swap Meet event this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Thousands of vendors and cars for sale this weekend at Springfield Clark County Fairgrounds. Info at ohioswapmeet.com or call 937-376-0111.
You gotta see it. You gotta be there. Come on out and see. Cars and Parts Swap Meet and Car Show. Bring the family.
Hey, it's Justin Kinner from the Justin Kinner Show, and I wanted to take some time to tell you about my great experiences with CertaPro Painters. That's right, my experiences, as in more than one. I've had CertaPro Painters complete quite a few painting projects for me over the years, and every time they knock it out of the park, whether it was the Ohio State-themed office with the Buckeye stripe wrapped around the room, or when they painted my entire house before move-in day, I could not believe that they knocked out our entire house in just one day. CertaPro Painters knows how to get the job done right, and most importantly, safely during these times. They deliver what they promise. They show up on time, they get the job done right and on budget. Whether it is residential or commercial, interior or exterior, CertaPro Painters will take care of you from the first initial free estimate all the way up to the final brush of paint on your project. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are a local business that you can support. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Summer is winding down, and Rob's Beer Barn is stocked with summer refreshments, and they're going fast. Plus, fall beers have arrived. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all your gatherings. At Rob's, you can find all the ice cold refreshments you'll need. Craft, imported, local and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all. And for last minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn, look for the beaver.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping and over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Hey Dayton, this is Blake Maislin, your favorite injury attorney. 444-4444. It's getting a little warmer out there, so be careful. Be a little slower on the road, not a little faster. Watch out for motorcycles, look out for the big trucks. But if something does happen to you, I'm here. I will help you put it all back together.
1-444-444-4444. Blake Maislin.
Right now, savings count more than ever. So what if you could unlock extra savings on any project? With an extra 5% off all eligible purchases using the Lowe's Advantage card, you can. From an extra $6 off sanding that deck to saving another $75 on that new fridge. The extra savings make every project even better. Last year, cardholders saved over $300 million. Join them and start your next project with a Lowe's Advantage card. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $26.99. An incredible oil for an unbeatable price from the best car people around. Making this deal the best of the best of the best of the best of the best deals around. That's Mobil 1, only $26.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 9/30/20.
Did you know that right now Geico is offering an extra 15% credit on car, motorcycle, and RV policies? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee
Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know. Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Reds fans, don't miss the Justin Kinner Show, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll get the latest Reds news, headlines, lineups, player features, and recaps. Don't miss a game or a show on Dayton's home of the Reds, ESPN 1410, Wing AM. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, Kev has that Friday feeling. I don't do that. I don't
Three
do
to
that.
the dome.
I need a little bit more alcohol than what I have right now. Wait, what?
Hey.
What?
Tomorrow.
First of all, just to be clear, zero alcohol. I'm going to call a high school football game. That would be so. I'm not even be funny. No, I did not drink. That's when I'm trying to be a smart aleck and it could backfire on me like very, very quickly as far as that's concerned. But yeah, speaking of high school football, coming up tonight, high school football ESPN Dayton Game of the Week presented by, of course, Kettering Health Network, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Now, for those watching on Facebook, that's the schedule. Springfield at Centerville. Wildcats, Elks, both 1-0 after, of course, coming away with two big wins in week one of the high school football season. We'll touch on that more coming up in a moment. Coach Brent Ullery for the Elks is going to join us coming up here in about 10 minutes. You'll hear from the head coach for the Elks. So I'm looking forward to chatting with him as we preview tonight's game as the Elks and the Wildcats getting set to go head-to-head a battle of 1-0 teams here so early in the season. We're live here on Facebook Live. Again, listen to stream watch. You can watch us daily, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. and be a part of the action. And of course, the chat is always open, or the comments section down at the bottom. Always jump in on the conversation that way, especially if you want to tell me how stupid or annoying or horrible I am. Trust me, we don't block any of those. We welcome them, to be quite honest with you. So there's that. But there are a lot of nice people out there as far as that is concerned. All right, the Cincinnati Reds, to give you an update, by the way, the Reds right now are in the middle of a doubleheader. The game started at 4 o'clock. Game one, one of two as far as doubleheaders is concerned tonight for the Reds and Pirates. The Reds have a 3-2 one-run lead heading into the fifth inning. And right now, I guess just based on the social media reaction, and help me out, folks, if you're watching on Facebook and watching the Reds, people seem to be just freaking out about Luis Castillo not having a good outing. He's given up 2 runs in 4 innings of work. I don't think that's that terrible. I think that pitch count's what people are keeping an eye on. But no, that's about what you would like. You'd like to be around the 60 pitch count when you get, heading into the fifth inning. I mean, 15 pitches per inning, Kev, is kind of like where I would be comfortable with. 15. Mm-hmm. That's 5 pitches per batter.
Right.
Usually, that's what puts you about what? So 15, 30, 40, 60, 75, 90, 105 pitches would get you through 7 innings of work. So that, and I'm all for, I want 7 innings. So if you're efficient and can get a guy out in 5 pitches, I'd say that's pretty good. A couple foul tips here and there, it doesn't matter. Strike 3, whatever, however you got to do it. Get him to fly out. 1 run at bats, or 1 hit at bats. I'm sorry, a lot of 1 run at bats for the Reds this year. Not on their offensive side, but as far as that goes. But yeah. So there you go. So game 1 of the doubleheader, Reds right now with a 4-2 lead. I'm sorry, so they've scored since then. Hold on, I gotta check on my guy Kyle Farmer. Remember, David Bell had his conversation with Coach Calculator earlier on today. Coach Calculator, all about the numbers, informed David Bell that despite the $16 million a year that you pay Moustakas, and despite the fact that he is probably your first or second best power hitter on this roster, despite all of that, he's not that good against lefties, so we shouldn't play him tonight. So you pay him all that money. If you are one of the best hitters in baseball and you can't hit both lefties and righties, no offense, you're not one of the best hitters in baseball. And by the way, I'm sure the numbers show that he is not that great against, righties or whatever, against lefties. You know what? He's one of your best hitters. You need your best players out on the field. Keep him out on the field and stop messing with the David Bell, because the guy that you tried to convince me was, well, we got to go with Kyle Farmer. He's so much better against lefties. He's 0 for 2 with the freaking strikeout right now. You mean to tell me Mike Moustakas couldn't have done that? I mean, at least being paid $16 million a year, You're at least out on the field swinging the bat, doing nothing, as opposed to sitting in the dugout. All right, get me off. Get me off here. We're done talking Reds. Hopefully, when we come back on Monday, the Reds would have swept the doubleheader tonight. They get a couple more big wins over the weekend against the Pirates as well, and we'll see what happens when we come back on Tuesday. But we'll talk more Reds more next week. We'll keep you updated on the Reds score throughout the final half hour here. Let's talk with Centerville Elks head football coach Brent Ullery. We'll talk with him as well as look at some of the top games around the Miami Valley. High school football talk coming up. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner